Thank you so much. Morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing very well this morning. I am going to turn on my camera really quickly. All right. So for today's session, we're going to be doing a bit of practical, and also we're going to be doing a bit of, so there's practical. I'm hoping that the light in the background isn't bothering you too much. Try shift over a little bit just so that you're able to, yeah, this looks a little better, right? Um, my window's open, so I'm getting some air. All right, so today's session, we're going to be going through in depth, very deep dive into the YouTube platforms. And we're also going to be, going into a more practical kind of review of some of the things that you would have had for homework. So last time, I'm just going back, we would have gone through, for those of you that weren't there before, I am preparing a summary of just last week and this week and everything, and it's a lot of work, but I'm trying to prepare that summary to make sure that you guys can get it. I don't want to promise you a timeline, but I can tell you I'm working for it towards this week. And so I really want to make sure that everybody is able to kind of leave the session with a really good understanding of just where things are at. All right. So last week we would have started by going over in terms of, like, you remember that nice spectrum that we would have gone over, and we would have stated, the website and the app is the hub, and then you also have like SEM, SEO, email marketing, display, social media, mobile, online PR, podcasts and webinars, and analytics and tracking that really come together in one. There's some things here that we're just not going to cover because we only have 2 sessions to really go through it. And some of those things, and I mean, we won't even touch on, such as online PR, analytics and tracking, podcasts and webinars, mobile. We're just not going to be able to kind of touch on those things. Last week, we would have spoken about websites in depth and apps. We would have gone into a lot of detail on e-commerce websites, because e-commerce websites are a big need to know for entrepreneurs, right? And especially in this day and age, it becomes even more relevant. Then we went on to talk about apps. We then spoke a little bit about the brand and just kind of how it ties back to the entire marketing that you need to do for your businesses. We went into search engine optimization and also search engine marketing. And I know that was probably pretty new for some persons. So I'm hoping you didn't vomit over the information, but don't worry. You're going to get a chance to kind of ask me questions. And then we would have started and we would have just very briefly touched on display. So for this week, we're going to be going into email marketing next, just tying that up really quickly and diving into social media. Social media is heavy. That's really why you guys are here. And there's a lot to say about social media. But before I move on, I'm just going to remind persons about the rules for this morning session. So try wherever possible to be against some sort of background where you know that persons are not going to move, whether it's a wall or something like that. When it is that you're going to turn on your video, and keep your mics on mute. If it's a case where you're not speaking. But of course, I really want to hear from you guys and ladies, and I want you to turn on your mics, right? And I want you to talk to me. We'll see what persons are saying in the chat, yes, but feel free to stop me at any point in time during anything that we're going over. If it feels a bit much, right, and you feel like you don't understand it, feel free to stop me so that we can just kind of go over and get a good understanding of where we're at. And I think that's pretty much it for the rules for today. All right, so let me first of all open up the space to find out, were there persons that had any questions coming in from last week? Any persons with questions? Feel free to talk now. All right, that sounds like a hard no. I don't know if that's a good thing or that's a bad thing, but I'm gonna take it as a good thing for right now. And
it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Okay.
Yeah. Trust me, from experience, once there's silence, that means I'm good.
Okay, good. All right. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to kind of just go through a big bulk of things that we really need to talk about today. And then we're going to spend the last, hopefully, hour to half hour kind of focusing in on your social media plans and going through that in a little bit more in depth. So I did give some person some homework, and please feel free to type in the chat and tell me if you got to do the homework. Some persons may, if you got to do the homework, just put did it. If you didn't get to do the homework, just put nah, I didn't. Anthony says exit room. That's okay, Anthony, if you didn't get to do the homework from last week. I just want to know if there are any persons that really got a chance to do the homework, which was, there were a couple of things. One of the big things, of course, was for you guys to look through that spectrum or think about that spectrum and kind of say, okay, what are the areas that I want to focus on for my business, right? What are some of the tactics and some of the things that I want to take from this and kind of revisit and relook at for my business when it comes to display? Well, most businesses aren't doing display or SEM, but when it comes to, for example, your just organic presence on Google, so your search engine optimization, things, for example, for your website, are there any persons that would have come up with any things in terms of what they need to go through or they want to relook at? Come on, guys, talk to me this morning. Okay, did it, but didn't define it based. That's okay, Chandris. That's okay. It's just a conversation. Nothing's perfect. Like when it comes to, working on these things, it's not gonna happen in a week, right? So I'm not expecting, superstars here. Go ahead, Chandris, in terms of just what you came up with in terms of some of the areas that you want to focus on.
Hi, good morning again. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. Let me just go through. So the main ones that I highlighted that I was gonna try and explain or own on in terms of area of focus was the main one, of course, social media. That's one. And for social media, I just wanted to focus on content marketing, developing a content, what you call it now, database, a content calendar, mapping out my buyer's journey, developing the persona of who my target audience is, and just generally, hold on, let me look back at my notes. I know I wrote it down. Right. So developing that content base, database, and then studying the areas of social, like all the platforms, YouTube, IG, you listed them to try and understand how I can like run ads and do targeting of those things. So I was saying for social, I would like to increase my traffic engagement to my posts. I'd like 100 new followers to my page in the next 3 to 6 months. I'm currently at 400 followers on my IG e-commerce business.
Nice.
I'd like to develop 1 year worth of content to post. That's like a start at the content database. I may minimize it to 6 months. Set up an IG shop. That's a big thing right now for product-based businesses. I'd like to know to do that, and as well a Facebook account to run ads and learn about ads and targeting. Online PR, I'm not sure what this meant to you, but I was just saying to develop content database again for promotional and business materials. So like discounts, free delivery days, combo deals. I'd like to learn how to do that. And gain materials from the industry to like post, did you know, features, facts, and so forth. So for this online PR, I'd like to as well develop the same thing, a content framework, calendar database, mapping out of the buyer's journey.
What about Chandri trying to get like a free feature with Gleaner or Observer or a free interview on a radio station?
Yeah, I just don't know how I would go about that though. I don't have any links like that.
That's okay
So
if you don't have any links.
I
Ask
did
around in
I
your
did an
network
interview.
for persons. Go ahead.
I did an interview in January with Jane Bank.
Do you have it recorded somewhere?
They have the footage. I'm yet to get it from them.
So go back
But
and get it. Yes, that's
I
critical
posted
for
the
you
picture
to
on
have.
social. I posted the picture on social and on the stories and so forth. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and reach out. I have a couple media friends, but everything is basically focused on the pandemic.
Yeah,
So
man, everything not gonna happen the same time, but you're home people for a year, maybe 2 years. Something must come out of it, right? Something
yeah,
must come out of it.
last
The
year was a lot
opportunity.
of speaking engagements with Dear Lab. I was a speaker and some
Nice.
entities at UE. I was a speaker, but that wasn't like a PR thing. It was more like a invitation to.
It's fine. Those are PR. That's PR for your business. Do you get a chance to capture them?
No, because it's a similar setting like this. And to be honest, it's only when they create the flyer that's the only promotion I am able to I'll be talking at this event, so I'm on the flyer. But
Okay, next time,
yeah,
once you're talking about your business, try to capture it. Even if it's a simple thing where you ask a student in the class to video you because you don't have anybody that can accompany you to video you, or you have a little stand for your phone that you carry with you and you put it to record and you just ask everyone for the permission to record it, right? Try to capture that.
all right, thanks. Definitely know that was something I should have done.
Yes, and then
Going forward.
you can splice up those talks, to be able to add, using different ways to make content for your social media page.
True. So I actually selected four tenets. So it was social, it was online PR, mobile. So mobile, I'd like to know how to structure better messaging to my customers for follow-ups because they're in my WhatsApp network, but that's a little bit informal. So I'd like to learn the whole dynamic around mobile messaging, updates, giving updates, how to, do e-blast messaging without it looking annoying and stuff like that. And email marketing, I know it's slow in terms of as we discussed, persons don't open the email, but the majority of those who do will get conversion. I'd like to learn about email marketing.
20% of them that do, 20% of them. So that's a pretty high.
Pretty large number. So I'd like to learn about email marketing in terms of stuff like this, how to, perhaps use it as some sort of traffic director to webinars, podcasts, workshops, e-guides, e-books, stuff like that. So when those do come up, I'll actually have a foundation for email marketing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Excellent, Chandris. I love it. I absolutely love it. Anyone else would love to share? You don't have to be as robust as Chandris and expansive, Anyone else that wants to share what they would have done? All right, I'm not getting anyone. So,
well, Karen.
Yes, go ahead.
If I can just make an interjection. Oh wait, I think I have a feedback. Yeah, I quite like the point you made, and I put it in the chat, but just in case it gets overlooked, I like the point you made about the Gleaner feature and also some of those interviews, because very often we focus so much on the traditional, the new media, that we forget the traditional media. And what you just mentioned is a way to integrate both, which I think is quite useful, and you benefit from the Gleaners following, or I should say Jamaica National, or wherever it is that the bank that she did the interview with. You benefit from their followers as well, and their readers and viewers, as well as yours. So I like that idea of twinning both, and I've sadly never thought of linking the two. Is normally one or the other for me, certainly. But I like the point about mixing them.
Very, very, very useful, Dwayne. And I appreciate you highlighting that. A lot of persons forget that traditional marketing or traditional media is not dead, right? It's not dead. It's still very relevant. Go and ask the people who are paying for primetime news ads, right? How relevant it is. It's still very, very relevant. But in the small business context, we understand that we can't afford those things, right? But what we have to do is we have to beg our friends and our network, and we have to capitalize on when there's a particular topic, right, that is coming up. So we know, for example, like, you know, people when they're coming up to Christmas and that kind of thing, they need to spruce up their house. So if you have a home decor business, that is the time now to be trying to, from probably all October or before September, try talk to the people that you may know that is in and around those circles, radio interview, those kind of things, to be able to get those people to, you know, give you a little 5 minutes on them show, or, you know, something along that lines to talk about your business. And guess what? I've seen so many times where, you know, the big institutions, they may not have highlighted you, you know, and your interview with them, or your, you know, short little feature with them, because in the grand scheme is not that big of a deal, but it's a big deal to your business. I've seen where people, when they're able to capture that now, them go and tag you and say, oh, XYZ, we did have a talk up you with Professor whoever, and they go tag Jen, and they go tag these businesses. And these businesses did at this point in time, oftentimes, they see this as user-generated content, and they go and they retweet it or they push it back out to their audience, right? And so in that way, as you correctly said, Dwayne, you get a bigger audience that you're reaching, just like that, right? So don't forget, guys, that it's not only about, you know, the new media that is right now, right, in terms of digital, but we're also looking at just everything else, you know, and how is it that we're able to push it forward, right? To our social media channels, our online channels generally across the board, and capitalize on it. All right, so let me just step back real quick here. We spoke about display last time. So let's talk a little bit about email. Let me pull up my chat really quickly again so that I can make sure to see what everyone is talking about in the chat. All right, chat is up. I'm good to go. Fantastic. All right. So I don't have much on email marketing, because once again, email marketing in of itself is a whole gamut of sessions, because people want to know so many things. But I have a few tips that are in here. So people often wonder how to start an email list, and they say, boy, you know, I don't have nobody that I can start the email list with. Of course you do. You have friends, you have family, right? You have persons that care about you, right? Or your business, or people that you're already selling to. You have a place to start. It's simply a case having a conversation with them to be able to, you know, add their email address to a list or something like that. You can start with even just the people that live in your house, your mother, your father, those kind of people, and start building your email list from there. And it's one of the things I was, you know, one of the small businesses that I was consulting with, or still do consult with, right? I was saying to her, you know, you need to separate your email list by, yes, all the different customers, but you are missing a big chunk of it, which is the whole bag of people that care about you and you care about them, right? These are the people that are also going to help to amplify your message, right? So you need to create an email list of, whether you want to call them stakeholders or people that care, and, you know, those kind of people. And the emails that you send to them, yes, you might get them, you might have them on like your main emails that you're sending out, but there's some emails that you may want to send to them separately to update them about how your brand is doing, how your business is doing, any big feature, and beg them share it on them page, right? Because those are the ways in which you really need to be able to capitalize. And in that case, that person had a good volume of people that really cared about her, right? That she could use to kind of be some boards for her message, right? To get to reach new followers and new people. So you wanna start first with who you have. Also, you want to go to, for example, if you have a website, or even if you don't have a website, when people message you or DM you on social media regarding your business, you want to ask them if it's okay if they will opt in to be on your email list, right? They may say, what do they get from being on the email list? You're going to give them discounts, offers, they're going to know when new things come out, that kind of thing, right? Those are the things that you do to convince them. So you're going to also probably look at having a campaign on social media, right? To try to also add people to that. And that's very easy because you can add a link in there for the social media campaign. So instead of them coming back to actually your social media page or to view a post or something like that, after they see your ad, you direct them right away to, you know, whether it is your Mailchimp page or wherever it is that you can go ahead and you know, have them log in their information and leave their email address or that kind of thing. Speaking of Mailchimp, some people often wonder what's the best platform for them to use for small business and started email marketing. Honestly, it's Mailchimp. Why? Because once you're starting with, I don't remember what's the threshold, but less than less than a few thousand people, it's going to be a case where you are not going to, okay, Dwayne, yeah, got it. Yeah, you're not going to have to pay, right? Mailchimp, how it works is that you have to pay the more that you grow, right, in terms of your email audience, right, or your list. So the bigger your lists are, right, and that's the reason why, guys, when you put it in your list, right, there's a way in which, and you can Google it, I'm not going to be able to detail it here, but there's a way in which you don't replicate the same people time and time again, because once you pay based on the number in Mailchimp, right? So you pay based off of if you have 10,000 people, or let's even say 3,000, 5,000 people, that you pay a certain amount. If you have 10,000, you pay a certain amount. It keeps going up all the time. So what you find is like bigger businesses, they don't use Mailchimp because they would have to pay like insane amounts of money. And there are other providers for them. But at a small business level, Mailchimp, basic, easy, very easy to use. But let's say Dwayne, for example. Say Dwayne is my friend, right? So Dwayne, I want to have Dwayne on my main list, right? Dwayne is my friend, but Dwayne also has never purchased from me before, right? So I want to have him on my main list in terms of just general things I put out on offers. I probably want to have, I may know that Dwayne, say for example, is into a particular, he's like redecorating his kitchen or something like that, or he just got a house or whatever, and he's into, you know, things for his house and what's not. So I may want to put him on a prospective customer list for let's say January to June of this year, right? Or yeah, January to June of this year. Remember, guys, you have to keep revising these lists, you know, because people that may be on a prospective list, when you check it back 6 months time, they're not on the list anymore. You need to kind of move them and migrate them to a different list. You get what I'm saying? But doing it also on the friends and family list as well, right? So you don't want to in Mailchimp create a list where you have Dwayne 3 times in your Mailchimp, because then what's going to happen, you're going to quickly reach the volumes in which you're going to need to pay. So there's a way in which you can add people without replicating them across various lists in Mailchimp. And that's something that you can do for homework and go and Google it, so that you don't find yourself replicating a whole bag of people, which really kind of comes down to one person that is across more than one list, right? So Mailchimp is a recommendation, hands down. So you can also, you know, killer emails offline, which I spoke about, right? You have customers that are loyal to you. You also have new customers. Any customer, prospect or otherwise, you want to be able to say, hey, you know, can I add you to our mailing list? That way you can get discounts and offers and that kind of thing. Separate your list of customers. I've seen too many times, guys, and I cringe. It hurts me because when it is that a small business brings in somebody like me, I have to go through it. I have to help them to go through it. I can't entirely go through it. Remember, I have to help them to go through this one massive list with a bag of people that you know from Adam and interact with your business from Adam. And it's a case where it's just not divided out into to the different lists. So for example, if you do a pop-up event at Devon House, right? Put pop-up event at Devon House for, you know, which day, and create a list out of that. Or you might want to put pop-up event, you might want to kind of group all the pop-up events within a 6-month period, right? So you might do pop-up events for January to June, or from January to March. You understand what I'm saying? And you kind of group the people in that list, you know. So those are some of the things that you need to take into consideration. And to have a welcome series. So when people are introduced to your business or they buy from you for the first time, you want to welcome them. You want to welcome them with a sign up. With a sign up, you probably give them a nice little offer. Maybe if they buy this, they get something else. You want to add them, you do things offline or online to welcome them to your business. But part of that is also capturing their email address. So you want to think about that. Tactics. Now, these are there are a few tactics that really have worked. Greet new subscribers with welcome emails, right? So I had such a good experience the other day. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick for you. I have a bag of stuff here. I joined this lady's list, and her email list, what's her name again? Let me try to find her really quickly. I joined her list, and it was such an amazing experience, the entire welcome journey that she gave me, to be honest with you. And I actually went on because she was having a sale for her ebooks, and I went on to buy 2 of her ebooks because they were really relevant to me. And I went on and I got them right away, right? Just based off of that whole vibe of her welcome email and just her offering free things. So she offered 2 free ebooks in her in the welcome. And so you could easily download it. I'm just trying to find her really quickly. And just the entire experience in and of itself, it was just, I really appreciate it, to be honest with you. And it caused me to become a customer by buying 2 of her ebooks. They were 50% off, and I went ahead and I bought them. So these are some of the things that you have to think of. I'm trying to find it as we speak. These are some of the things that you actually have to think about in terms of, you know, having a whole, as I mentioned before, having a whole welcome series that people can be a part of, and they can, you know, kind of, you know, feel welcome to your business of sorts. Then you also have, I found her, Maria Killam. And if you're into home decor, I mean, this lady knows her stuff, right? So that's just a quick thing. So, all right, so I want to draw, let me see if I can drag it over real quick to draw your attention to this. All right, so as we see here, right, I started my journey with her on March the 5th, right? So it says, yeah, you're now subscribed to Color Me Happy. Thanks for subscribing. Click here for instructions in terms of downloading, how to set Maria Killam as a trusted sender. Big deal, right? Because then you're going to start going to people's spam. So she kind of gives you directions in terms of how it is that you can go ahead and add her as a contact. Then of course, you know, the please confirm your email address. Then there's the color freebies. So these were freebies that she gave to download. And then she said, let's get started. Download my ebook, how to choose wait, hold on one second. I think this is after I purchased, right? So she would have given me freebies. The freebies would have kind of got me really interested. And that's when I went and I saw that there was a 50% sale. And I would have bought the ebooks and downloaded them. And then she came back and she said, thanks. I mean, this is not her, but this is how she set it up, right? and she said these are no, I think she would have shared the books. Then I went on and actually shared the books with some of my friends, right? Then she came back with more articles for me to read here. And she had actually given a challenge in the, like, when you went to sign up initially for email. So it was kind of like, look at this picture and tell me what's wrong and what's off. And then it kind of said, sign up for emails and let's continue the discussion. And so then she kind of gave homework to say, oh, have you figured out yet what's off, kind of thing. And so she comes back here and she's saying, quiz time, tell me what's wrong with this room. So she shows the same room again. And she, has a quiz here that you can complete to see if you're right or you're wrong. I haven't done the quiz yet, but I want to do it. So I'm going to definitely do it. Then she comes and she says, I think this is introduction to her passion statement. So she talks in here about how she became a color expert and why she does what she does and that kind of thing. So this is the feel good emotion now that, she is trying to bring in to get you now bought into her brand, because she's sharing the passion stories. And I think this is probably just like another one. I haven't been through the entire journey as yet. As you can see, it's only been May 5th that I have started the journey with her, but I just thought her email journey was really, really nice. And that was something that I looked forward to, getting her emails from her and that kind of thing. So I just wanted to give you a glimpse of kind of how it can work, guys. You have to think about the journey that persons have, and that's why I had on the previous slide, create a welcome series, because it can be things online, offline. Keep people in the loop with newsletters, incentivize sales through special offers, right? So you want to give people special offers to go ahead and buy, send updates about your brand, give reminders to inspire actions. You want to remind people, I know it's payday and I know you want to get something for your house. So why not, look at these 3 options that are some of our best-selling items in order to be able to put this in place for your house. You get my vibe, right? Those are some of the things that you want to say to people, and you want to be realistic, right? You go ahead and you talk about payday, because the reality is that most of us, we may not be living to paycheck to paycheck, but certainly we look forward to payday, right? And then there are other of us that are living paycheck to paycheck, and that's okay, right? It's a case where, when you know that people are going to have more money when it's payday. And so you want to be able to go ahead and just make sure at the end of the day that you relate to people in a real life situation. I'll be very honest with you, right? So for my home, there is this very nice garbage can that I really want. The garbage can is way overpriced, too expensive, but I want the darn garbage can. And the people keep emailing me about the garbage can all the time. So every time I have it in the budget every month, right? And then they email me, I put it aside. I said, no, it's not critical and it's not important. It's too much money. And then the people email me and I put it back in the budget. I'm not kidding you. So then I have a conversation with my partner and I say, and I have the garbage can in there. And he's like, the garbage can is not necessary. We have a garbage can, right? And as far as he's concerned, this garbage can is way overpriced. And I've been like literally for the last 2 or 3 months juggling the whole garbage can, in the budget, out the budget. When the people email me, it come back in. So I just want you to understand that these reminders, they work, right? They really work to be able to convert people, right? Sample example is the garbage can with me. But and I mean, this garbage can, I want it because it kind of separates the plastic and all the other things. And I'm very big on the environment, so I like that concept, right? But I just want you to understand that these reminders work, okay? To remind people, hey, these are some of the things you can think about this month. And it's good when you can get it in a little bit before the end of the month, before people have solidified and the bills come down on them and everything comes down on them. And of course, you want to connect with your subscribers on special occasions. So let's dive into social media. Any questions regarding email marketing? Trying to find back the chat. Any questions? Okay. The truth of the matter, Anthony, is that I don't have a second favorite in terms of an alternate email provider. Of course, it is that you could choose to use like G Suite, but G Suite is a case where, how much did I used to pay for G Suite? I think it was something like $6 or $7. You don't actually have to have an email address, but you have to have you don't have to have a website. Ignore what I just said just now. You don't have to have a website, but you have to have purchased a domain for it. But I don't think that's going to solve your problems, because G Suite is not going to allow you to send out mass emails. Let me think about it a bit, Anthony, to see if there's another option that I might prefer. But for right now, off the top of my head, there isn't that I would recommend to SME. You understand? Some of the other options out there are kind of complicated, and it's not as easy to use, and you feel like you feel more stressed out more than anything else. So let me think about it. Yeah, let me think about it a little more, and I'll see if I can answer your question. All right, social media. So can anyone guess how many types of social media platforms there are? Types, not the Facebook and the Instagram, but just broad category types. Anyone can guess? Give me a number, guys.
I see Sandri's.
Go ahead, Dwayne.
Sandri's had her hand up. I don't know if it's in relation to this.
Okay, Chandris, sorry about that. I missed that. Go ahead, Chandris.
I'm going to answer your question, and then I'm going to ask mine.
All right, cool.
So there are 7 types. There are 7 types.
Nice.
The question I was about to ask was, what is the mindset behind campaign marketing on other platforms to drive people to your email list? What is the mindset behind that?
Good question. And that's something that I was hoping to bring over, but it's an excellent question. The reason why email is so powerful, and the reason why you need to be driving people from your website and your social media all over to come into your email, right, and be part of your email list, it's because that's a captive audience that you can reach at no cost. So when you have to do it through social media, right, separate and apart from the organic reach, and we soon get into organic reach and see the decay of organic reach over time and the fact that you're not really reaching nobody, right, when it is that you don't pay. Separate and apart from, so let me rephrase that. Social media, you don't have to pay, but the amount of people that you reach is way less, which you're going to see soon. So really and truly, in order to be able to reach the people, even the people so the current standing is that you reach, every time you post organically, without paying on social media, you reach less than 1% of the people that are your fans and others. Yeah, believe that. Less than 1%. If you actually go into under your post in your business page, you'll see how many people reach. And then you go calculate how many people you reach, right? Versus the amount of people that are on your fan base. So you say you have 400 people. Tell me if you have more than 4 people that would have viewed any particular one of your posts. Maybe you have 4, maybe you have more than 4 that encapsulates probably a wider audience, but more than likely it's less than 4. And that's a reality, right? So the point is, for social media, you have to pay to play, right? Anything else, to be very frank with you, if people hear you on the radio, TV, whatever, you need to be able, how are you going to reach them back, right? If they reach out to you and say, oh, I heard your business and I saw your business, so how much are your things? How are you going to reach them back? You need a phone number and an email address, right? Let's say you were doing advertising online somewhere, right? How are you going to reach back those people or get back to those people without paying again to reach them? So the whole point of email marketing really is the fact that that's the only really free way right now in order to be able to reach your followers. Meaning, if you have 100 people in that, is a high guarantee that probably 99 or 98 of those will be, the mail will be delivered to them. And I say 90 or 99 because there are some people that, based off of using an email marketing provider, increases the chances in a big way of you not going to spam and people not seeing it and that kind of thing, or it not going to their inbox, but there's still going to be a little bit of that. So there's a high percentage of people, or almost all of the people that you reach, are either it's going to be delivered to their inbox, and then it's up to them whether they want to open it or not, right? But it's a case where email marketing is like the only pure free way of reaching your followers right now, and that's the truth, without having to pay every single time. Do I answer your question, Chandris?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm seeing 3 in here. I'm seeing 5. Kimon said she heard it somewhere. Anybody want to take another guess?
Hi. I think it's 8.
You
and
think it's 8?
Yeah, and I have a question as well.
Go ahead.
With regards to the email marketing,
Mhm.
how do you condense that for a service-based business? Because I mean, you don't want to oversaturate persons with information versus, a product-based business where you can actually show like an image and just tell about the product, which would actually captivate persons' interest, versus a service-based business. How do you condense that information to make it more marketable so persons actually get the point of what you're trying to introduce or propose to them without giving them a wealth of information that will allow them to become too oversaturated?
Sharing. So for a service-based business, it's about sharing the experience. So say, for example, you had a spa, or maybe I should ask you, what's your business? What's your service-based business?
It's cleaning
Okay, good.
business.
Fantastic, right? And you're wondering, what am I going to say to people in email, right? There's a bag of things, show before and after pictures, right? Of the work that your team would have done, right? Or you would have done, right? Go and there's so much that I can think about. Showing them tips and tricks on how to clean the place, right? You're not gonna let all your secrets out, right? Which you're gonna see soon. You're not gonna give them all your secrets, but you have to educate them. If you get them into a cycle of coming to you for the education on cleaning, right? What's gonna happen is that they're gonna think that you're an authority on the area, and so they're gonna want to use you. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to show the experience, right, of what the befores and the afters look like. You want to educate them on, and when I'm talking educate them, you're talking on things like how to clean stains, probably using vinegar to boil in the kettle to get rid of the hard water left over, hard water scum, those kind of things, right? There's a lot that you can really share in terms of a cleaning business from an online perspective, and even an email perspective, to be able to let them know about how good your staff is, who are the persons that are on your staff, maybe how much experience they have. You want to share as well, all the different service, so you could focus in on, like, an email can focus in on why this particular package is good for this particular type of person, why this one is a good for another type of person in another email, that kind of thing. You can give offers and discounts. So maybe if they purchase these 2 packages, you're going to give a 50% discount on that next one, that kind of thing. Bundles that you may have, You may want to, as I said, educate them about things to clean, how to maintain the space when your company, in the gaps between your company comes. So if your company comes every month or every 2 weeks, what do they need to do themselves to maintain it in that gap period? Does that help to answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, all right, no problem. All right, so we're gonna see, let's get into social media. I don't need to tell you what social media is, and I'm not gonna tell you today, and I'm not gonna tell you why it's important. But what I will say to you is that more of the user journey is on social media right now. So many of our customers experience now lives on social media, and social media enables the brands to take part in the customer's online experience outside of the traditional channels. Some of the things that we should all be familiar with, we should know by now, is difference between paid and organic, hashtag, share stories, engagement content. If you don't know any of these words or even one of these words, let me know, type it in the chat so that I can explain it. All right. So somebody said there's 7 types of social media. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, who is it? Chandris that says 7, right? All right, Chandris.
Hooray!
You hit the nail on the head. Let's go through them real quick. So we have, like, your social networking sites, which is like Facebook, right? So you create content, upload photos and videos, Social review sites. So this is like TripAdvisor. Everybody should be familiar with TripAdvisor, where you could go on and review a particular location or experience, or even Google Maps, right? You could go on and review a particular business, the experience there, and that kind of thing. Image sharing websites would be like Instagram and Snapchat. So the persons are sharing imagery. Video hosting sites would be YouTube, as we would be familiar with, and Vimeo as well. Community blogs is like Medium and Tumblr. This is a big deal, and Medium has blown up in a huge way, and Tumblr has gone like almost to nothing in a big way. Medium has essentially replaced Tumblr, right? So we have where, people are Medium is that space now where experts, you have from President Obama and others that are writing on Medium, right? Where people go to express their thoughts and help connect them with readers, right? And as a business owner, you can share your thoughts about a particular issue. Say, for example, in the cleaning business, maybe the overuse of bleach, right? Or harsh chemicals, right, Felicia? That's a big deal, right? Enough people, when the whole concept of what we think smells clean is actually a marketing campaigns, or a series of marketing campaigns that have taught us what clean smells like, right? And too many people use bleach and harsh chemicals, right, in their houses when they don't need to, right? So maybe that's the case where a Medium you take to kind of talk about that and talk about what are some of the alternatives, right? Discussion sites. So this is, this is one of my favorites of sorts. It's not like with Facebook and Instagram, it's a case where I don't want to say it's not a case where you don't have a profile, you do have a profile, but you can also do it anonymously, where I know people that go on to like Reddit to read all of the drama of people posting anonymously asking for advice about their relationships. Yes, if you want a good laugh, go on to Reddit and read about some of the things that people are asking advice for their relationships. No joke though. I use Reddit a lot for like reviewing. I'm very much like, into like indie perfumes and smaller brand perfumes and that kind of thing. So I go there for like a lot of reviews on that. I go to find out a lot of tech stuff, kind of what really is working and what's not working. I am a huge, like, if you know anything about the tech, if you're into the tech world, OnePlus, I've been OnePlus is a phone brand. I I've been with OnePlus from day one. Yes, from OnePlus One. I switched and I left them and I came back, but I'm a die-hard OnePlus like supporter. So I go there to read stuff about the new phones that are coming out and just people's experiences and all of that, which is outside of the OnePlus community. So the fact is, all of these discussions you can have, it don't matter what it is on this earth. It could be about atheists. It could be about trees, right? It's on Reddit. No joke at all. Check it out, guys. And then you have Reddit Jamaica, which is a whole different kettle of fish, right? No jokes, where people are asking things. Jamaican people asking things, right? That's a good place to pick up customers, because when you answer people's questions and you give them, you give them the answers they're looking for so many things, maybe you can take the conversation offline in order to be able to get them to offer them a product or service that can work for them. So maybe part of your homework, Felicia, is to go find some people on Jamaica Reddit, right, that are talking about how dirty their houses are, or how much they really need one service, or how much they're struggling to clean their house with COVID, right? Because they never know how to clean it from day one. So then you also have sharing economy networks, which bring people together who've got something to share. So you have like Airbnb is a very popular one. And so by pooling the resources together, they support each other. Some of the activities on social media that we'll very likely browse through is going to be, listening to what your target audience is saying. So we're going to focus on social listening, publishing and sharing compelling brand content, engaging prospects, customers, and influencers, and curating third-party content that's relevant to your buyers, and finally tracking and measuring social media progress. So anybody can explain to me what is social listening? Take a guess, take a stab at it. Anybody?
I would like to try.
Sure, go ahead, Garcia.
But it's just a guess.
Okay.
Social listening is gathering information from persons that use your platform. So let's say you have an Instagram page and a lot of customers are asking for, let's say you sell soap and a lot of customers are asking for turmeric and lime soap. So based on the information, based on the questions that they give you, you're listening to what your customer needs. So yeah, it's about listening to your customers based on the information they present to you on your social media platform.
Nice, great guess, excellent. So social listening really is that process that you mentioned, right? You're listening to, or you're checking in terms of what your competitors are saying, what are the mentions of your brand, what's it people saying about your products. It doesn't have to be your specific products, but products in your category. And it gives brands an opportunity to kind of track and analyze that information and respond to the conversations that are there. And they can take response in a lot of ways. So here's a classic example. During the election campaign, I would have been, handling, and I would have been supporting Crystal Tomlinson, and I would have been handling her communications. And one of the things that I did was I would have used Brand24 just for that period to kind of monitor everything, every single thing that was being said about her across the web. I'm not talking just on social media, I'm talking across the web. If Lena published anything, if anybody tweet anything, if anybody writes something on Instagram, if somebody put something on a website somewhere in the back bush or somewhere, it appeared, right? And I use that consistently to be able to kind of monitor what people are saying about her. And I'm not saying that you need to go, use Brand24 or, a paid platform. There are free platforms as well that will do it for up to a certain amount, right? So they'll probably give you the last 20 mentions of your brand or that kind of thing. You can also use hashtags, of course, to be able to do it. But given what I was doing, and I needed to be able to monitor every little everything. Yeah, understand what I'm saying? That was being said about her, about the constituency, and even her competitor as well. I use that to monitor it during that time. So that's just a real example of just generally how is it that you can use social media monitoring to work for you, because then I then would have used that to then respond to things, to highlight it to the team and let the team decide. I can share my opinion, but then let, in some cases, her decide whether she wants to respond or she doesn't want to respond to some of the things that were being said or what was, but I was doing my job of bringing it to the team's attention. Yes. Brand 24, that's the name. Jessica Campbell says you can use mentions to monitor. Is this Jessica Campbell that I know? I'm not sure. But if it is, hi, Jessica. Jessica, okay. All right, you can use mentions to monitor. What do you mean by that, Jessica? You're saying that you can use mentions of your brand to monitor others. Is that what you're saying?
Hi, what I'm actually saying is there's a platform called Mentions. So once you put your brand keywords in it, like for Crystal, they will put her name, South, Andrew, Western, Rural. I don't remember what the constituency was.
Yeah.
So whenever anybody mentions it, sends can also use Google. Google platforms have a feature that you can use to also.
Yes, you're perfectly right, Jessica. And there are quite a few free versions that are out there, right, guys? Particularly for that instance, I use Brand 24 because I needed to have a bigger scope of past social media. So it was literally whatever was on the web. And I also needed to have a scope that was kind of unlimited because there was a lot being said, right? Some of the free platforms do limit you, but in the contents of a small business on a really day-to-day, there's not that much mention, and I'm being very honest with you, right? There's not that much mention. So this is something that you can kind of check in on maybe every once a month, that kind of thing. It's not something that you need to be doing every day or every week. Kind of that's the truth, right? Unless something very urgent kind of blows up. And so you can assess the online mood of, just what people are saying about you. And I've put some steps in here in terms of how you can, listen. You monitor the channels, of course, and then you analyze that information and you kind of keep tabs on what the sentiment is. And most channels, have something like this, right? Where it kind of shows you whether what is being said about your business is neutral, right? Or whether it's positive or whether it's negative. And believe it or not, sometimes it's wrong. So I remember there was a particular comment with, it came out as a huge negative and people say, yo, she bad, meaning she good, but because, they're thinking it automatically reads the word bad, right? So it was a tweet. And so you have to review these things to kind of just make sure that the bad is really negative, and, you have to read them for yourself to see. But in the grand scheme of a small business, you just need a free version of this to be able to really help you in terms of your business. And of course, the main things why to listen is because it allows you to come back and engage with your customers, manage any crises that you may come up with, right? You might think as a small business, I'm not going to have no crises. You just wait, right? There are going to be crises that may happen with your product or service that you need to be able to be aware of. Look and see what competitors are doing. Find the pain points. This is one of the biggest things. Find what people are struggling with that you can help solve problems for. And of course, discover leads, and also, try to, see what influencers are out there in terms of your industry. So what are the types of social media content? We move on to publishing and sharing compelling brand content. They're wide, guys, we're not even going to be able to touch. Social media content is a whole semester long thing, no joke, right? But and that's not even doing it justice, right? Because people at Karamak and others have concentrated on just on these particular areas, and that's taken them their whole degree, or at least 2 years of their degree. So I will pinpoint some of the ones that people are not very familiar with. you're not familiar with the word ephemeral, but you should be familiar with stories. Ephemeral content is any short content. So Twitter calls it fleeting, you know, Instagram calls it stories, somebody calls it something different. The point of the matter, once the content is short and it disappears after a particular short period of time, it's ephemeral content. Testimonials and reviews, we often forget, right? That we can harvest these testimonials and reviews offline. Offline, yes, that's quite correct. And these testimonials and reviews, you can then go ahead and use to be able to put online, right? We often think that, oh, is it when you think about testimonial and reviews, is it if some person has reviewed on your Facebook store or your Facebook page rather, but it's not necessarily just that. Think about infographics. There are many a tool that you can use infographics and create infographics for, whether free or for very minimal. Let me see what else is here that you may not be so familiar with. Virtual reality content, you may not be familiar with. But I'll say that is not so much particular to small businesses. That's for bigger businesses of sorts. White papers, very much white paper is some sort of long form content that is, you know, either researching, is a research that was done on something or an analysis of something. But the fact of the matter is that it's a pretty long document and sometimes people care about these things, right? So maybe it's a case where there was some research done as it pertains to, you know, what are the harmful effects of using bleach or using ammonia like every week in order to be able to clean your house with. And persons can then go, you can reference that, right? In your, I see your hand, Felicia. Chandra, I'm not sure if your hand was up from before, but you can reference that and use that reference in order to be able to kind of build a social media post around it. Go ahead, Felicia.
No, that was before. Sorry, I don't know.
No problem.
I have a question. Because I think this is where it gets I want to use a big word. Discombobulating, right?
Yeah.
Where we have all these content and we don't know what to use when. We don't know how is the structure for this to look, or you know, in the initial stage of a small business, do you just post everything because you're trying to beat the algorithm and be consistent and stay in the mind of your customers and just pull on a bit of everything? Or is there really a structuring process of streamlining these type of content? Because that's where the problem starts for me, you know, what to use when and how to use it to get the results that I need.
All right. So you touch a very important part, which is the algorithm, which in and of itself is something I would ordinarily go through if I had more time. But you touch a very important point. And for the algorithms that are currently today, the algorithms, hands down, is live videos that gets the biggest viewing. If not live videos. If not videos, then you can go to some sort of imagery. If not imagery, then written content, which is not ideal for long form content, is not ideal for social media, but you can reference it. So you can create like a cover, right? In terms of like some imagery or something that refers to it, and then kind of guide people towards wherever that long form content is, if they want to view it. But we're going to get into that also, Chandri. So I'm gonna come back to that. All right. But I just want to say, like, the algorithms prioritize hands down live video or video, right? So I don't need to talk to you about engaging your customers and why it's important. And of course, you know, you want to increase your followers, get more comments and likes. And as a business, the focus really is on the quality and not just the quantity. All right. You want to also go back to the buyer personas. Why? Because that is going to be the roadmap in terms of helping you to know the customers based on their responses of who to engage and kind of guide them through your process. and influencers can be really helpful in this engagement. So I think you've heard me using this term, UGC, user generated content. And I don't know if I explained it last time, but it essentially is anything that speaks about your brand that you never created, or nobody that's a part of the business never created. So if Dwayne says, he says, he posts and he says Felicia's, and he doesn't have to tag her business for it to be UGC. He doesn't have to tag her, but maybe he mentioned Felicia business, they're just a name, and to say that they, did an amazing job of just kind of getting some of the old dirt on his patio off and that kind of thing and cleaned up. That's UGC. Repost that, right? Somebody talk and say, they went to a lawyer and, they won, and that person really helped them in a big way. UGC. Repost that, right? Anything that is positive, and of course, the focus on UGC is something that's positive, right? Not negative stuff. But anything that is positive, that you never created, or you never said about your particular brand or business, or nobody else associated with your brand or business said, it's UGC. All right. And it promotes authenticity because it's almost like word of mouth, right? Like you broadcasting word of mouth, because it is a good way to show that it's really not all about what you're saying, but also these are what other people saying about me. And another reason why to curate third-party content. So we spoke about UGC, but we're talking just content from other sources. Feel free to use content from other sources, guys, and just credit them. We always look to, stress ourselves out with creating brand new content all the time. That's not always needed, right? Use the content from other sources, give them the credit, and talk about it on your channel. You don't want your whole channel to be that, of course, or your whole page to be that, but that's something that you certainly can do. And we all as small business persons can capitalize on that a lot more. I'm even like right now thinking of a page that I manage, and I'm like, for real, Karen, take your own advice. Use some more curated third-party content in order to be able to give yourself a little less stress, right? And then of course there's tracking and measuring, which is really, there's no point in you doing all of these things if you don't know where you're starting and how well you're doing. And that's the truth. Some people, they've never seen their analytics for their page, never looked at it. Don't make that person be you, right? You want to be able to monitor kind of just some key social metrics. How have they advanced, between last year to year? I'm presently doing a social experiment on an IG page, right? Where for the last year-ish, less than a year, going on to a year. So the objective really was for about a year to post consistently and see the organic growth that I was able to reach without any paid content at all, right? For a brand new page, out of the box, scratch, no help, nothing. And kind of see how that has reached. I kind of fell off in terms of the consistency a bit, but that's something that, I'm experimenting with to kind of see how that relates to how you can grow your page, a page from scratch with paid, lots of paid, right? And that's just for my own personal experimentation, right? But I have to monitor my social media for that, to be able to kind of the metrics to kind of see how well it's doing and how it's not doing. So you first have to do it for your particular brand, because you have to see what's working and what's not working for you. So what are the steps in the social media plan? Before we get into the social media plan, we need to do some prep. First of all, we need to assess our brand story. If we don't have one, get one, right? Write one, figure it out, brainstorm it, talk about it amongst your family, talk amongst it amongst your friends, see what makes sense. A brand story has to have a passion coming out in there. What's the reason that's driving that passion? So a brand story can be soft and hard at the same time, but it focuses up, there's an element of it that needs to be soft. Understand our buyer journeys. how are people reaching us? Is it primarily through referrals? Is it primarily they see a particular post that may have gone viral or gotten really popular on social media, and that's how they're reaching us mainly right now? Is it a case where it's mainly people that work with us, so people that are at work that we talk to, you know, about our business, and so they buy something from us? Understand how people are, you know, not only getting to us and buying from us, but also what they're doing afterwards with it. Are they returning to us, right? Are they using it again? Why they're not using it again? Was it bad? Was it good? You need to understand your buyer journey. Social media content audit. In other words, look at all the content that you have done for the last, do 6 months, right? A year might be too stressing. Look at all the content that you've done and kind of just assess it on a grand total. Is this what you want to be reflecting your brand, right? Is this really the reflection of your brand that you want to be out there? Are there things that you need to improve on it, right? Are there things that you can reuse? So a big part of the social media content audit is to kind of curate some of that content, right? To put it aside in a bookmark somewhere that you can bring it back again another time if we know that it worked, right? So that's why it goes back to analytics. Take some time and kind of look and see which posts got more engagement than others, and see which ones were working for you, so that you can use that and kind of bookmark those to as in your curation. Look at your competitors, see what they're doing, see if what you're doing is matching up, see who's doing it better, and see how you can help to take learning lessons from them. Set up your accounts if you haven't before, or improve your profile. Go through and figure out how to improve your profile. Determine the content topics that are most relevant to your business, right? Very, very important. And then you get into the plan, and you might be like, this is a simple plan. Like, are you okay? And yeah, this is a simple plan. I've housed the content strategy in the social media plan. You could pull out this content strategy in of itself, and you could take it out and use that by itself, separate and apart from the social media plan. All right. And so we start first, of course, with defining our social media goals and KPIs, defining our personas, our target audience, and of course, understanding that buyer journey. Develop the content. So in the content strategy, so the third step is develop the content strategy. The fourth is to build a community with engagement. Fifth is measure progress. And the sixth is evaluate and adjust the course. But within the content strategy, we're going to create content topics or pillars. We're going to create social media brand guidelines if we don't have those things before. We're going to create this thing called a content scorecard. What is the criteria, the minimum criteria that we need to at least have? So for example, some brands, they need, and I think it doesn't need to be this harsh, but some brands is a case where you have to have the brand colors somewhere in there. For some brands, they want to have a logo. For social media, you don't need to include a logo. You don't need to include a logo on every single post. But for some brands, that's their brand guideline, right? And that's the minimum criteria that is required, some sort of color associated with their particular brand. Then you have editorial planning. So what are the roles and the responsibilities? It might be just you and your daughter, right? So that's okay, right? What is the role? Maybe your daughter is the person at the end of the day that is responsible for designing the social media posts and writing it, and your role is simply reviewing it and posting it, right? It doesn't matter whether it's a 2-man shop or 1-man shop. You still need to write these things down and be very clear on them. And as you add people, yes, you're gonna already have a framework that makes it work for you. Yeah. Publishing cadence is basically how frequently are you posting? What types are you posting frequently? Are you posting, and when we say what types, we're talking, for example, are you going to be posting, content from, say for example, let's zoom in on the cleaning, right? Are you going to be posting before and afters every single week? Do you have enough customers to be posting every single week? Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you take a whole house that you've cleaned and you do before and afters for every single room. And so you can probably do a before and after for this room this week and another room that weekend, that kind of thing. So it spreads out. Maybe that's something that is really important and you see where there's a great amount of engagement. Yeah, Kimon, I did say at the beginning that I'm working fervently, believe it or not. It's a lot of work, but I'm trying to, kind of put together a nice end product for you guys. Not the hard slides, but a nice end product that you can kind of use and take and work with afterwards. All right. So that's going to come sometime in the week. Yes. So maybe it's a case where when we look at the types of posts, you may want to post about, the products that you use within the cleaning. Maybe that's something that you want to post every single week. Maybe you have a partner, right? So maybe there's a wholesale that you always buy your soap from, right? That they may have a social media page. And maybe there are, whether they have a social media page or not, they may be a partner, right? And maybe you want to put out stuff related to them, right? Because maybe you have an agreement with them where they share things and you share things and that kind of thing. Maybe you have a sister business or brother business, right? That it's a case where you're sharing these things and you're putting up some of their content. You need to say how often that's going to happen, right? That can be every single day, all right? But you have to say how often that is. Then you get into the editorial calendar, and this is really the guide to say, we're going to post these things every day till when. Cool. Then you have your distribution strategy, which is primarily for you, it's going to be focused on organic, right? It's not going to be a lot of paid, maybe some earned, but certainly the main thing is, how is this organic content not being paid for? How are we going to push that out? Are we doing any ads? What is the strategy for that? For our UGC, what's our strategy for dealing with UGC? For some people, the UGC, they put it on email, they put it on social media, they put it on stories, they put it everywhere, right? They have a big strategy for UGC. And then you're going to measure that. So that's essentially it. It's simple because if you really do take out, the details of the content strategy, it's really 6 steps. So we're going to define the objectives that we want to accomplish. The objectives need to be SMART, guys. Time and time again, whether it's from SMEs, students, I have seen objectives that are not SMART. When we say SMART, we're talking about, somebody help me? What does SMART stand for?
Specific, measurable, attainable, are realistic, and time-bound.
Yes, please. Thank you so much for that, Garthia. So the big part that people often miss out is measurable and time-bound, right? So I want to increase my social media page. I want to double the followers on my social media page, right? When next year, this year, what's the timeline, right? You need to be able to state that. A lot of people say, I want to increase my engagement on social media. How you're measuring that? Is it that you're expecting a certain more likes? Is it a case where you're expecting a certain more comments? How you're measuring that? Yeah. So you have to make sure that these objectives are real SMART, guys. And I say to you, set objectives for yourself for no more than 6 months. Why? Because you see, when you have these long objectives like a year, sometimes they feel so far away and they don't feel reachable. They don't feel like you could pick them off and really work with them. So set smaller objectives by quarter. I prefer by quarter. Smaller objectives by quarter that you can reach. And then you have to have KPIs associated. So for example, I have here traffic and engagement goals. Maybe a KPI might be how many readers, right? If you had a page that you were diverting them to, where you expected them to read something. How many page views if you directed them to a website? What's the engagement rate? The articles that they view, that kind of thing. Convergence. How many people, if your objective is convergence, how many people signed up for your newsletter? How many people were returning visitors to your website? Right? monetization. It may be how many people purchased. Yeah. What's the average order value? Is it people that are spending more than $100 with you, or is it a case where persons are just coming on and probably spending 20? Now, we need to be clear about our target audience and understand what a persona is. A persona, it outlines a typical member of a target audience. These can be fictional or not. Representations that are rooted in the behavioral data and knowledge that you've gained from getting to know your supporters on a personal level. In other words, look upon the people them that you know that are buy from your business on a regular basis, right? And think and say, what prompts them to go and buy from my business on a regular basis? What are these type of people? What them do? Where them at? Are these the people that I want to be attracting? Or is it a case where I want to be attracting, a different kind of clientele? And it's okay if what you're attracting now is not what you want to be attracting. That's where it is that you zoom in on the persona that you want to be attracting, and then you figure out the plan on how to reach them. All right. So you need to be clear on that. And then we're going to drop things like, what are the demographics, them age, how much them earn, right? And we're talking ranges here, right? Is a man or a woman? Is it the woman, Felicia, most of the time that is the decision maker to say, yes, we need this cleaning business and we need them to come in? Or I don't know. Maybe it's the woman more so than the man. So maybe you should be targeting women more, right? You have to think about these kind of things. Gender is not always necessary for each business, but it's something to consider for some, right? They're married, they're not married. Where is it a case where, if you have a picnic business or you have a picnic business, if you have a business in, kids and things related to kids, right? Or babies, I mean, there's a high likelihood that after people have, after they get married, they're going to have a child at some point in time in the future, right? So you might want that marital status might be important then, but for the cleaning business, it may not be important any at all. So you have to think about that. You think about the psychographics, particularly the habits, right? So you want to think about how often are they using these things? How often is it that they're buying from you? How are they consuming it? So if they buy a particular type of disinfectant from you, for example, right? How long will it take them to use it? Them use it pinch, or them use it regular, right? If it is a case where, say, for example, like a farm store, how often do people then come back for seeds, right? They only come back, what, once a month, or is it every week that they're in your store for seeds, right? You have to think about these things. What are the challenges or pain points? Is it the fact that the farmer will struggle to reach town because you only have one store in a town, right? He know the price good and things, but the struggle is that he has to wait to the one time when he comes up in the month in order to be able to reach your store. Is the pain point the fact that, boy, I have to save money for this cleaning service, right? So I really don't, I really need to save money to get it done. Maybe you put people on a payment plan. So you have a subscription of sorts where they pay you every month, right? And, you probably come and clean, every 2 months, right? So once they're paying you every month, you come and clean every 2 months because you split the payment in two. So if it's 30 grand that they need to pay you for the cleaning, right? I don't know what your prices are, Felicia, but I'm just hypothesizing here. If it's 30 grand, you put them on a subscription plan where they get a 10% discount if they're on the subscription plan, but they only have to pay like, say, $13,000, right? For each month. So you have a guaranteed source of income, right? Because the people are gonna pay every month. And you also give them a discount that, obviously is going to kind of guarantee that they kind of lock into it. So, you have to think about these things in terms of what is the pain point. People not having money is a pain point. Let's be real with ourselves. But how do we navigate it? How do we make it easier for them? If you have high price items in terms of what you sell, right? Let's say you sell houses. Yeah, you're into real estate. No problem. You need to figure out a strategy now to be able to help your customers with the pain points that they have, right? So whether it's closing costs or all these things, figure out the strategy for them, right? Don't let it be a case where, I remember when I went to my banker and I was like, I want to buy this house, but brother, brother, I don't even know where to begin. And he sit me down and he was like, okay, Karen, you need to save X amount of money per month across X amount of time in order to be able to at least reach here to afford clothing. You understand? You want to have the same considerations and you want to talk to your customers the same way, right? If you're in the real estate business, you might be like, that's not my job, but that's what's going to get you the sales though, right? So you need to think about that, guys. And let's be real with each other on challenges and pain points. I see people put down things all the time like, yeah, the challenges and pain points are these things. And I'm like, so where am I gonna get the money from? Right? Oh no, so I mean, all of us are constrained with COVID right now, or most of us are. So we have to think about these things and be very real and meet our customers where it is that they're trying to go. All right. What are the purchase drivers? What pushes them over the line? Is it me and the garbage bin or the email, right? What is going to push me over the line for the particular month? Is it a case where there's a 20% sale and I say, no, man, I'm not going to get it for such a good price again. So let me go get it now. You have to think about what are these purchase drivers, right? That are going to push people over the line. And you want to communicate them to communicate these to them. Where do they likely find their information? What are their preferred content formats? So it's not everybody's like me that won't like to read something. They have a time that I don't like to read nothing at all too. They want a video, an easy, quick video to figure it out for themselves. How can content help them and what resources will help this persona? How does your product or service help them at the overall? So this is a quick, just a breakdown of some things in the persona. It'll be here, it'll be in the content pack so that you can have it. And then we're going to put in these pillars, right? These pillars are really critical, guys, for you to be able to understand, just what, and let me talk to you about these pillars, because most people want to skip these pillars because doing it first time, it requires a lot of brainstorming. But you see, after you've done it, you're good. These pillars are things that you can use year on year without very little change. Your business, once it mainly stays the same, maybe it expands and so you need to revise them. But once your business stays mainly the same, the topics that you talk about and the subtopics that you talk about on your social media posts are going to essentially be the same. There may be a few things based off of what's trending now and what's not trending now, right? There may be, current affairs stuff that come up that you may need to talk about. But trust me when I tell you, like, 80 to 90% of it is really the same year on year. No jokes about it. You'll reassess it every 6 months or every year, but it's more or less the same. So what you're doing here is you are brainstorming. And guys, for in a previous sitting in a bigger business, I had like 20 odd pillars, right? With like so much depth to them. Subtopics, 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 right? But the point of the matter, you don't need to go so deep. Even if you create only 4, this helps. Maybe for the cleaning business, it's a case where one topic is what are the actions that you maintain in between cleaning, right? Maybe a next topic is who is our staff and why should you rely on them to come clean your house, right? The next topic could be cleaning agents that we use and we don't use, right? We could have so many subtopics under that one. Maybe another topic is, let me think. Okay, maybe a topic is easy to clean areas, right? How to clean your house in 10 minutes. So how to clean specific rooms in 10 minutes. So you could have one for the kitchen, one for the bedroom, one for the bathroom, that kind of thing. So it kind of gives you you can create a wealth of content surrounding each room and, what are the quick things to clean and how it can only take you 10 minutes, right? I'm just brainstorming literally off the top of my head now, guys. But the fact of the matter is you want to put these topics in here and these subtopics in here. if you don't have this already, figure out what voice and tone it is that your business is going to be talking. Is it an authoritative tone? Is it a friendly tone? Is it going to be, a tone that is going to, or the personality is going to be educational, and is it going to be an exciting shout, like Miss Kitty? Imagine if your personality for your brand was like personified in Miss Kitty, right? Maybe that's it, right? Or maybe your brand needs to be a lot more serious and a lot more laid back and a lot more educational, but very serious, and have a more serious tone. I will warn you though that serious tones don't work on social media very well. Educational tones work well, friendly tones work well, not so much serious, right? So you have to think about this. Is maybe it's a case where you are a critic, right? And you have a jokey tone all the time, in terms of what you say, the tone, the voice, the personality. And so you can dissect this on your own time and figure it out for your brand. And you want to put, what do I avoid? What are the things that my daughter, when she's writing her social media posts, what should she not put in there? What are the things that I want her to put in there? What is on brand? What is off brand in terms of the how we craft the images and how we craft the words that we use? The content scorecard, which I mentioned before, is basically like a checklist, right? It's to say, okay, my brand, and these are just things, it doesn't have to be this. My brand colors are orange and blue, something orange and blue is in that post, cool. Checking for spelling errors or grammatical, check, done. Checking to make sure that I have a call to action in what I'm posting in the caption, check, done. These are just things at the end of the day to say, okay, we need a yes to say that these things have been done in order for us to go ahead and publish, right? These are the attributes that we want all the posts to have overall. Maybe it's a case where you want all Black people in all your stuff because the majority of people where your business is Black people. That's fine, that's no problem, make that a criteria. And then we get into the illustrious editorial calendar. You can choose to break off pieces of this if you want. I would advise you not to because it helps you in the future. What date are we publishing it? What article or post or image or video are we publishing? And what is the title? What pillar did it come from? Did it come from the pillar talking about cleaning agents? What was the funnel stage that we're targeting with this post? Are we trying to get people aware about our product or service, or are we trying to convert them to be customers? They're further down the funnel. What is the format? Is it a JPEG? Is it a GIF? Is it a PNG image? Is it a, whatever format, MP4? Maybe it's an MP3 recording with just an image overlay on it. Put it here. What's the call to action? Every single post does not need a call to action in the caption. However, it's likely that you want to include call to action in some of your posts. What channels am I going to distribute it on? Is it going to be on TikTok? Is it going to be on Facebook? Is it going to be on Instagram? Is it going to be on YouTube? Yeah. Excuse me. What are the KPIs that I'm using to see if it was successful or not? Am I looking at how much likes, how much clicks? Is it engagement overall? Is it a case where I'm looking how many people went to my website afterwards? Yeah. Am I looking how many people signed up on my email list? Put that in here. It's simple, guys. It's really simple. It takes a little time, but it helps you immensely. And looking back, it really, really helps in a big way. And what I like to do is that I like to kind of plan this out for like a month or a week and kind of set it. And it takes away all the brain effort that is required to then create the post, because I kind of have an idea of like, I can look at it and say, okay, I can see what this post is aimed at. Okay, all right, yeah. I get what I need to create right now. For the own distribution strategy, remember we said this is the organic, right? So it's going to be for Facebook. And this is something for the distribution strategies, you're revising this maybe every 6 months, no more. For Facebook, what is the big objective that I'm trying to achieve? How many personas or which personas are addressed? Put the names of the personas. And by the way, when you're creating your personas, you put the names. So I like when I'm in my brand meetings, I'm not talking about persona 1 or persona 2. I'm talking about Tracy. I'm talking about Ethan, right? Because once we make reference to Ethan, these need to be, whether they're fictional or not, these people need to come alive, right? But if we talk about Ethan, we know the type of a high school student between this age group doing that, we know who we're talking about right away. So put your personas that you are addressing here by name. What's the desired action? And what do we want them to do after seeing our Facebook post? Is it our main goal for Facebook is to be able to then divert them to another channel? Or is our main goal to be able to get them to message us on, you know, in DMs or excuse me, please, in Facebook Messenger, in order to be able to say, hey, you know, how can I get onto this? Or how can I get your company to do this? Or how can I make a booking with you? How often we want to post on Facebook? Is it 3 times a week? Is it 6 times a week? Is it once a week? Don't make it once a week. Don't make it 3 times a week, guys, based on the algorithm. You want it to be a minimum of 5 a week. If 5 a week is too much for you, choose 3 times a week. What is most important, I will say, about most of the algorithms right now, Facebook/Instagram, Twitter, not so much. Facebook/Instagram and LinkedIn's algorithms right now is that and as well YouTube's, is that consistency gets you the payoff. It's not, excuse me, please, the flashy stuff and, you know, a one-off and then tomorrow you don't post the next 3 weeks and then you come back. It's not that. It's the consistency that gets you really prioritizing the algorithm. And tech stack is simply saying, all right, what technology support do I need for this? Is it a case where I probably need Canva, right? To support my Facebook posts? Is there anything else that I'm gonna need? And you're gonna create these for whichever channels you choose to use organically. Same thing for paid distribution, but what I will put here, note here, is that there's spend and flight, because in paid, we gotta spend money, right? So this is basically referring to, it's just a advertising term that we use, which is basically saying, how often are you spending money and how much are you spending on what particular areas? So maybe it's a case where for Facebook, you're spending you might say, I'll dedicate probably about 60 US per month to Facebook, right? And I'm going to spread that across 3 weeks during on Facebook. Okay, no problem. 60,000 is roughly $9,000 right now. All right, cool, no problem. So you're going to put that you have your 3 weeks, maybe in week 1, we know that week 1 is close to payday, or that week 1 is payday week. So maybe you put 30 US, right? In week 1. Week 2 is going to be 15 US. Week 3 is going to, or maybe you do week 2 is 20 US and week 3 is 10 US. Because we know the further people get from payday, the less money they have, right? So maybe that's how you want to put it down for each channel. And you don't need to, maybe for you, it's just Facebook and Instagram alone. Or maybe YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. It's up to you what you want to do. I will say one quick thing here. LinkedIn ads are expensive. Anybody thinking about LinkedIn, I'm not trying to thwart you or divert you from thinking about it. I'm just being real with you, right? LinkedIn ads are like $3 a piece, no joke. Yeah, US dollars that is, okay, not Jamaican dollars. So yeah, you know, you have to be really pinpointing in what you want to achieve on LinkedIn. 25 for optimal on LinkedIn. What do you mean by 20? As in, you're talking a minimum of $25, Jessica? Is that what you're saying? Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'm not saying go only spend $3 on LinkedIn. It's not going to work. But yes, LinkedIn, you ideally should be starting somewhere around the $30 range. I wouldn't even say 25, Jessica. I would actually say $30 and up. Is where it's just your basic starting point for LinkedIn if you're going to delve into that. But what I will say about LinkedIn and also on Facebook, in message ads, so when you're putting an ad in the actual DMs of people, right? So whether it's Facebook Messenger or as in LinkedIn DMs, those ads work, okay? They convert very well for you, all right? So If you want to, think about that. And then your earned distribution strategy is basically primarily UGC and press mentions. The same thing kind of goes across the board. What's your big objective that you want to achieve? Is it that you want these UGC people to then convert to customers? Well, most of them are already going to be customers. Is it that you want them to be repeat customers? Is it that you want them to sign up for an email list? Maybe you want to make sure that everybody that is reposting and saying good things about your brand is on an email list, right? Because there's a high likelihood that they're going to convert into being a regular and loyal customer. So you have to just kind of figure out what are your big objectives. And measurement at the end of the day comes down to simply kind of figuring out what is so we know what the goal was, right? What is the objective that we were measuring? What is the metric that we were using to measure it? What technology we needed? Was it analytics we needed? Was it Facebook analytics we needed? Was it business manager on Facebook/Instagram that we needed? What technology did we kind of need? What reporting dependencies did we need? Do we need an IT person to help us out with that for the first time? Is it a case where we'll probably need somebody who's more tech savvy in our business to help us out and get it done for us? Put it down. All right, so I'm gonna break for 2 minutes just to get some quick water because I did forget my water this morning. And I'm gonna come back and we're gonna go real heavy into the platforms and our best practices. All right, so we'll be back at 12. All right, we should be back now. Our 2 minutes is up. So let's keep pushing through. All right. So I'm not going to go through all of the platforms in detail because there are many that we're all familiar with. If we just, need to do a little homework on it to kind of refresh ourselves, that's fine. But I just wanted to highlight a few things for some of the platforms real quickly. For Facebook and Instagram is all in one, right? They just need to call it one platform and done because there's so many things that are intertwined. Small businesses, let me talk to y'all real serious. Let me talk real serious. Because if I tell you the amount of times that I have seen this mistake, I probably would be a very rich woman if I got a, like $100 every time. No jokes. We need to stop sharing our admins, right, with people to manage our pages. Yes, our uncle, our nephew, or even our daughter, right? Whoever it is, maybe a part of the business and invested in the business, but that doesn't mean you need to share the admin role with them. You can if you really, really trust that person. But stop sharing the admin roles with persons, and then they are able to edit and change and do every and anything to your business, right? And sometimes, and I've seen time and time again where the relationship mashes up, right? And somebody feels spiteful, and so they go on and do something on their social media page to affect the other person. Whether you think the person that you are sharing the admin with is spiteful or not, or they're good people or whatever, that's fine. But if they're not super close to you, like they want to take a bullet for you kind of thing, don't share the admin. Give them a role. There are many different ways that you can give them roles. You can give them a content creator role, a moderator role, an advertiser role, an insights analyst role, but don't get them the admin role, guys. Please, please, somebody tell me yes that they've heard. I've seen this time and time again, unfortunately, and we need to be really careful with it. And we're gonna see that a little later down. So I've highlighted here just the different roles that you can kind of get across Facebook or Instagram. Yes, Sean, you hear me, right? Cool. So why is this graph here? This is old news, right? We're talking January 14. I mean, it gets worse over time. We've seen a degradation, an absolute shocking degradation of just how much reach you get with organic on Facebook and Instagram. I want one of y'all to go on your Facebook post right now and tell me how much, just look at a random post you posted with no money attached and tell me how much reach it got compared to your fan base, and calculate and tell me the percentage. Please. We've basically seen over time, and this is back from 2014, so it's even worse now, right? Where it's reached a point where it's way low, below 6.6%. It's less than 1% that you get with reach when you post without spending money. That's why I keep repeating time and time again that Facebook is a pay-to-play model. Hands down, it is. Let's talk about WhatsApp business. And why, sorry, just going back here. When I say it's a pay-to-play model, you reach 1,000 followers out of your 2,800 from an organic post. Was this no, I'm not talking when you boost. Boost includes money. I'm talking no money spent. No money spent, Jessica. Tell me. And it can be a video post, by the way. You have to tell me one that like an image post or something. So it went from 1,000 and then you boosted and it went to 2,800. You're talking your followers. I'm confused.
Sorry, because I'm doing so many things while I'm listening. All right, so I had the post. Okay. When I posted it, I only got like 100 impressions and a few likes, right?
Also, so how many followers?
2,800 and little bits.
All right, that's my point.
And then so I said, okay, I looked at the sites, and then I decided that I was going to do a boost to see if I could get some more impressions, more reach, more interactions, and the engagements and all. And then when I did that, I got 8,000 some impressions, and it was over a period of 5 days. And I believe yeah, and I think I just spent like $12 $12 over the 5 days. So it was like $2 and couple cents for the post each day.
All right, we're gonna come back to this example further down because I want to share something with you guys. But thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate Jessica. Remember what she said? The first thing she said, out of the 2,000 plus fans that she has, only 100 people saw it. Only 100 people saw it when she posted without putting any money to it. All right. So you have to really think about how many people you're reaching, guys. And that might be probably across 2 platforms that she may have been using. You have to really think about it. WhatsApp business. So I'm not going to talk about WhatsApp normally. We all know about that. And we all know about Telegram too. So I'm not even going there. But let's talk about WhatsApp business. How many persons are using WhatsApp business? Type yes, or A, or me, if it's a case where you're using WhatsApp business for your brand. All right, Kimon says yes. Jessica says yes. It's free, guys. And you can use the app or you can use the web. And if it is that you have to have 2 different phone numbers, for those of you that don't have it. Felicia, I see you. Yes. If it is that you don't have 2 different phone numbers, it's not gonna work. You have to have a different phone number to set up the WhatsApp business, separate and apart from your WhatsApp messenger number. But after you set it up, you can have both the WhatsApp business app and your normal WhatsApp on the same phone. All right. So the features, you get a business profile. You can have quick replies, automatic greeting message. So that's why most people, when you type and they say once you send something to them on WhatsApp business feature, it automatically gives you something. Automatic away message. So if you're on leave, you're on vacation, you're sick, right? You can put that there. You don't have to tell them what is wrong, or you don't have to tell them that you're sick or anything, but you can just say that you're away at this time and you'll get back to the person in X time. It gives you that these labels that you can segment your contacts by and kind of group them by. Message stats, catalogs that you could do, interactive business messages that you could kind of have persons clicking on buttons and that kind of thing to make their responses easy and make it easy for you to respond to them. And then you also have Facebook Shops integration. And for some countries, not in the Caribbean, we have WhatsApp payments as well. So the customers are going to connect with your business through either requesting helpful information by you sharing the phone number. Sharing their phone number. You can start a conversation from website or Facebook. You can create a QR code or a short link and then use that. Or you can have a catalog link as well. Twitter, you should all be familiar with Twitter and the various, just the structure and the various features of Twitter. There's no difference between a Twitter business profile and a Twitter personal profile. LinkedIn, there's a separate page for our LinkedIn. So LinkedIn business is a little different. TikTok, most people want to know about TikTok. So with TikTok, you have 2 main feeds, right? You have the For You and the Following. So the For You is basically their algorithm, and the Following is basically people that you're following. So you also have Discover, which is going to show you TikTok videos that are tagged with a trending hashtag. You have Creative Video, which is a plus sign here. You have the Inbox, which is going to open up to show you all the activity in the videos, and then you can DM people. And then you also have your profile here that you can go and change your settings and all of that. And you can make parts of it private. For the video icons, so I want you to kind of go back here. So you see these icons here? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. So you have this plus sign, this heart, then this comment, then this share button, and then this music thing. So the first one is the plus sign, right? And this is going to take you to the profile of the person that you're watching the video for. Yeah, so this will take me to her profile, for example. The heart icon is going to function pretty much like a like. Then you have the comments that you can comment under the post or the video, sorry. Then you have the share button that you can share off of the platform. And then you have this music icon, which is basically going to give people an excerpt of the user of the song or the track that people are playing. So then you could go back and kind of use that same track if you wanted, right? Now, why is TikTok even something that I should care about, right? And this is just the journey in terms of creating the video. So you can, once you click here, then it kind of brings you to the screen. Then, so you can create the video itself, then you can add in sounds, then you can do filters and change your different filters and whatever. And then, you know, your options in terms of how you post it to TikTok. The good thing about TikTok, and I'll tell you, TikTok would not be as big as it is if it was not something that you could share on like Facebook, Instagram, and other channels. Yeah. And that's the main thing about TikTok is that you could have the most boring product video and you put a sound, like some sort of song over it or something like that, that kind of goes with it. And it becomes something much interesting to see. All right. So we've seen where, you know, TikTok has really bloomed and it really helps us. Even if you don't use TikTok, meaning you have a business page on TikTok, I think that you should be using TikTok in order to be able to help to create more exciting videos to post on Facebook and Instagram. All right. YouTube, I don't think I need to delve into YouTube in terms of like you being able to create a YouTube channel. You can use your YouTube channel to talk about content that persons are searching for, not just what's popular, and also use your channel to provide solutions to prospective customers as well. And you want to be able to kind of use the tags, guys, in YouTube, because that's what helps it to have the organic reach it does, because it's the tags that then Google's algorithm is going to look for when it is that, you know, you're searching for something on Google. Remember, I told you that the bots cannot see videos. They cannot watch videos. So it's the tags that they use to determine what's actually in the video. And also, if you're going to have the caption associated with that will also help them as well, which you can turn on or you can turn off for your videos. So what are some of the best practices? We're going to master the art of storytelling, right? We've seen it with Humans in New York. We're going to, when you master this art of storytelling, followers are going to view you know, your message as a more meaningful message as opposed to just marketing spam. And as well, this is something that can help in terms of your prioritization in the algorithms. Call to actions. You may consider it. I think it's important for some posts, especially the posts associated with the bottom of the funnel, trying to get people to convert into customers. That's very important, but maybe not for the awareness. Like for the awareness, you may not choose to use call to action so much. Turn quotes and stats from blog posts into share-worthy graphics. All right, guys, remember to mute. Turn your quotes and your stats from blog posts into share-worthy graphics. Avoid verbosity, guys. Social media is not the space. There's this thing in social media called the 80-20 rule. 20% words, 80% images. If you violate it, your post will more than likely have a reduced reach. Less words is what you need. Try to condense that. You could put all the words you want in the caption, you know, but on the imagery, you don't need a lot of words. Save it for the caption. Be transparent. Use data from a case study. It don't have to be your case study. It can be just be a case study that's done. Use data to drive a debate or a discussion. That's what gets people fired up. Trust and believe, right? When you're using that kind of thing in order to be able to debate. So people want to talk about whether or not You should use bleach any at all in your household. Some people say, no, ma'am, it can leave it out bleach and blah, blah, blah. Then some people are going to say, no, I think we can replace bleach with vinegar. True story. Am I telling a lie, Felicia?
That's true.
Right. Not saying that you must be replacing, I'm not talking about replace bleach with vinegar, but there's some people that's what they believe. And some people say, you're nasty, your house must be nasty, like, and you understand what I'm saying? So that's a debate, right? Talk about it. Take tips from listicles. 12 ways to do something, 5 tips to do this, 3 ways to make this better for you. Use that. Always tag influencers and brands in posts. Always. Use the brand and his industry tags. Kill them with tags, guys. Kill them with it. And I'm not joking. Kill them with the tags, right? You know, the brand and industry tags, what it does is that, and I've seen it particularly in my experiment that I'm doing now, which is that I've seen where the people that have gone up, a lot of the, I would say half of the persons, I don't have a big following on that particular page, probably like 300, 200, somewhere right there. And it's, what I've seen is that the majority of people, separate and apart from people that follow me from my previous page or my main page, the others have found me directly through these hashtags, right? So the hashtags help you to kind of broaden your followers, all right? So kill them with it. Maximize on closed user groups and focus on micro communities. Anybody realize, open your Facebook app right now, and you're going to see when you open your Facebook app that from last year, there was a super early last year, there was a big change where groups now is at the top, right? So we have this icon where, you know, you have home, then you have your friends, and then you have groups. There's a big prioritization in Facebook/Instagram, well, mainly Facebook's algorithm for groups, guys. Create groups for your own brand, right? If you know that there are a set of people that are always interested in, for example, if it is that you, I think someone in here sells weave, right? If you know there's a set of persons that are always interested in the nice, curly, you know, big curl, Hispaniola looking kind of hair, right? Put them in a one group. I invite them to a group, rather. That's what I should say. Invite them to a group, right? Where they can share tips and all of that. If you know that you have the ones that you want to use it to kind of fill in the natural hair because they want a fuller looking natural hair, put the natural hair people in a group, invite them to a group over there, right? So they can share tips and tricks on how to hide it so people would never know, right? I hope you guys have seen that TikToks videos and the sound with, they would never know, right? Tell me if you've seen it, put it in the chat. Tell me, yes, love that video, love that sound, love that voiceover. But yes, you know, you wanna be able to take these things and kind of help people into groups. There are authors that I follow, and I swear, like, I love their books, right? I'm in their groups. I am in 10 million hair groups. No jokes. How would they know, Shine? You know it. They will never know. They will never know. You know it. You know it. If you don't know it, guys, check it. Oh, it's on IG, but you can find it on TikTok because that's really where they got the voiceover from. It's kind of funny, like the various videos people have done with it. So you want to be able at the end of the day to kind of build these micro communities of people that share, because I've seen there's this girl, what's your name again? Curly Proverbs, right? This hair girl. She has a YouTube channel. I mean, she's gained a following over time, but she's not the biggest out there, right? But what I can tell you is that the people in her hair group, they're loyal. When I said they're loyal, she just redid, and like she was doing a collaboration with another brand before and she stopped doing it and she kind of like came up with her whole brand and stuff like that. My girl probably posts one video on YouTube, but you'd see she's making sales because she's killing it in the group. She's talking about it time and time again in the group, and she has a loyal following there. So the group's coming almost like an email. They have the same effect as like an email marketing, and you want both because it's kind of saying I can reach these people with free without having to pay, and I know that all of them are going to see it once they either open the email or they're going to the Facebook group. Yeah. And with the Facebook group, they get the notifications too. So it's kind of hard for them to miss it, right? The amount of group notifications I get, I say it's serious out there, right? Plus the amount of pages I manage, right? So I just being really honest with you guys, this works. Social media best practices: publish content regularly and consistently. Pin or highlight a post that perform well or is extremely applicable to those that are discovering your profile. Pin them at the top, especially like in Twitter and stuff like that, or even on your Facebook feed, right? Pin them at the top. Video. The algorithms love video. Live videos is the king, okay? King. Separate and apart from live videos, any kind of video, post them. That's what is going to get you at the top of people's feed. That's what's going to get you more than 1% in terms of your organic reach, hands down. And I've seen with pages that I manage where live video converts all 20 days later. Still getting notifications all 20 days later after the live video was done. No joke. Live videos really help to prioritize and get you the engagement you're looking for. Personal content offers personal content to specific target audiences. And the best way to do that is to create a closed user group for that. Report user-generated content, repost UGC content. We spoke about that already. Credit your sources, guys. Oh my God. Up to today, I was on a very popular hair blog. Guys, I'm into hair, right? So, sorry, I'm into beauty at a whole, but I'm into hair. And natural hair, mostly stuff. And so that's, I make reference to it because I literally saw it yesterday. And I was trying for the life of me to find the person who originally created the video. And there's no reference to them on the post because I wanted to go back and kind of follow that person and check them out. You can't do that. You can't do that, guys. If it is a case where you are using somebody else's content that they generated, you have to credit them. You have to. Drive social fans to your email sign up, right? Very important. We spoke about why email is important, and you want to go live regularly based off of the current algorithms. Create your own IGTV series. So whether it is live stream videos, you do question and answers. Like I follow this particular page and I buy a lot of her products too, that she does every Monday. It's this brand called Mish, and every Monday she does question and answers for an hour at 7 o'clock, hands down, no qualms. So I know I can go on there, and at the end of their question answer, or sometime during, they give a 10% or 15% discount to all the persons that are watching. So I know I can go on there and get that discount just by watching there, even if I don't necessarily want to hear the question or answer. Use these things to your benefit. Create tutorials, share reviews with your IGTV. And then you want to create these curated spaces on IG using your IGTV videos. Like this is a really good example. So I saw from H&L, Rapid True Value, where they have like, you know, posts regarding opening hours curated into one area, all of their stuff regarding paint tips, all of their stuff for Agent Sasko, because, you know, he's a brand ambassador for them. So I think that, to be honest with you, the persons that have been doing their social media page in the last few months to a year, really good job that they've been doing. It feels fresh and exciting. The only thing that I will say is that I actually went on their website, because their website is nice and exciting too. And I went and I saw something on there. And so I went into store to get it, and they said, we don't have it. No joke. They said, we don't have that. We've been out of stock of that for months now. And this is across all stores. So we just have to be careful, guys, that what we're saying on social media matches with what is in store, you know. But I think they've been doing a really good job from a local perspective in terms of where they're coming from. Collaborate with micro influencers. Guys, you can barter with micro influencers. You don't need to necessarily pay somebody. They would want money, but maybe a bartering system can work, right? If it is that you sell units, weave units, right? AKA wigs, right? It's a case where you can barter, right? Because one of those wigs probably is like all $300 US, right? So instead of them paying them the hardcore cash, you can probably pay them with a unit, don't you think? Right? Barter as much as you can with these micro influencers. It can work. I'm telling you, it can work. And use the micro influencers, not the big ones, just the small ones to help with your business. The people that probably have a little following of, and it don't need to be following necessarily of people that are online. We always think that a micro influencer is people that have a following online. It can be people that are just popular in their circles, right? Why micro influencers? Because they are popular in their circles and they're able to kind of get the message out. So what you find is that the micro influencers are oftentimes more effective than the big influencers, right? In terms of the return on investment that you get back. Because with a micro influencer, you might probably spend, say, $200 US, right? To be able to get them to push out, say, 2 videos for you, right? To talk about your stuff and just talk about you and whatever. And you will find that oftentimes with the micro influencers, they will even go beyond that, it's just 2 videos or whatever, in order to be able to really, and guys, micro influencers, the pricing ranges. I ain't tell you go to nobody with $200 for 2 videos, but I'm just giving you some just an example. You get more value because sometimes they go way beyond just those 2 videos to talk about you. They become sometimes lovers of the brand and they talk about you even when it is that you're not paying them. It's a case where you find that, you know, word of mouth is so powerful and referrals are so powerful. So sometimes when it is that you have these smaller influencers, if they're able to influence a few, right, that is, and you have probably about 3 or 4 of those that you're working with, that is a lot more effective than if you're just trying to probably work with only, you know, one big influencer that people might hear about and that kind of thing. But after they talk about it the first time, it's not going to be heard back on their channel or on their particular page. So you have to think about that, Garthia. Stay on trend and do hashtag challenges, but do them a little differently. Yes. So even the same, you know, challenge with Y Rush, right? So everybody should know Y Rush. If you don't know the Y Rush challenge, please. I feel like you're still stuck in 2019, right? Please go familiarize yourself with the Y Rush challenge, please. All right, because yeah, that was a big deal in 2020. Everybody was Y Rush. They were like changing out their clothes at home all the time and putting on makeup and making themselves look good, and the guys were looking dapper. But let's say you had a Y Rush challenge, right, that you were working with, and you did wigging styles, right? It may be a case where the Y Rush is focused around the wig, right? But maybe how you do it is somewhere where, like, you know, instead of it automatically changing at the point where it's supposed to change, it might be a case where the girl goes so, and then it never changed. And then she you know, she does something crazy or whatever to be able to, like, no, and then you're sure probably digging up, and then a light bulb goes off, and maybe she's like, what the name of the business? And she find the business card and she show it on the screen, and then she call the people, and then after that you bring her back again when she goes like this, and she see the nice install unit. I'm just hypothesizing, guys, but the fact of the matter, you want to do it a little differently, so yours is not just the regular that everybody's doing. Or what's the other one? The other day, let me not get into them, guys. I'm not going to get into them, but I want you to understand, just do it a little differently, all right? So that it can kind of draw the attention to you, separate and apart from just what everybody else is doing. Feel free to start your own hashtag challenge. That's something that you can do. And if enough people catch on, you'll be trending. Show customers your process, but don't give away the secrets. So kind of coming back to Felicia with the cleaning business, right? Yeah, don't rush. Why rush? What did I say? Why rush? Yeah, you know what I mean. Don't rush. So coming back to Felicia with her business, it's a case where, you know, you may tell people like, what's the process that you go through, and you help guide them, but you're not giving away your secrets, right? It's important not to be able to do that. Use TikTok videos and soundtracks to bring your content to life and showcase your product in a new way. We spoke about that. IG Reels, we've heard about IG Reels. We can't see it, we can't smell it in the Caribbean, but know that it's coming to us. And so kind of get ready for IG Reels, where it's basically about 15-second videos that you're creating really quickly. Instagram has some new tools to make it easier for you. So just kind of get ready for that, because that's going to blow up once it hits. With WhatsApp Business, you want to offer one-on-one help to inspire new users for a product. And most of all, guys, you see those people that you know are going to come and spend some real decent money with your service or your product. Offer them discreet advice through WhatsApp Business and a high value of service, because those are the loyal customers that you need to pay attention to and keep them coming back. Retarget people using custom audiences. So custom audiences pretty much we'll go through a little bit soon, and creating lookalike audiences based off of your email lists, and encourage users to save your content on Instagram with the Instagram saves. Everybody should be familiar with Instagram saves. Encourage users to save your content and get high in terms of your social media stories. Feel free to put your ads there to get the visibility. Feature UGC. Use Twitter to socially listen to your industry and get in on the conversations, guys. Very important. Run polls or questions. You can use stickers and Instagram stories in order to be able to set up questions to get people's ideas of topics that you should be posting about, products, what to create next, you know, a whole heap of things. If your business is like food, hair, makeup, home decor, visual stuff, leverage Pinterest, right? In a big way, and review your social media analytics monthly. Now, what I've sought to include, and we're at 12:34, so I'm going to try to go through it pretty quickly. I may not go through everything in detail, but it'll be there. I cannot, and it's kind of like, you know, that person that has that itch, and they see something that's wrong and they can't, you know, like they struggle to move past it. I struggle to give people social media information, especially SMEs, and don't carry them through some of the mistakes that they make regarding the creation of their content. And I've attempted to do that here. And I say I've attempted because this is a course that I actually used to teach at Carimac. And two of them I used to teach an advanced and a basic. And I've tried really hard to cram a lot of information into some kind of small pieces, to be honest with you, to kind of pinpoint like the most relevant information for you guys as SMEs. So you might be like, what is up with this girl? I'm simple. This is not simple. It is, right? And if you think about it, some of this stuff makes sense in terms of your video production process. You really want to know what's the objective of creating this in the planning process. You want to know what audience you really are going after with this. You might already have that information. What is your key message that you want people to leave the video with, right? So in my creation of the wig video, right? It may be a case where you want people to leave with, you know, the knowledge that you have a 10% discount on, you know, these units this particular month or something along that lines. Or if you buy 2 units, you're able to get probably like a half pack of tracks free or something along that lines, right? But you need to be key on what that message is. It's not just the point of creating content just for so. You're trying to get people to buy stuff, right? Either your product or your service. Write a quick video summary. Sometimes when we write, look here, how many times has this happened to me? Like I have an idea of a video in my head. And then when I write it down scene by scene of what it happens, I realize, no, this not gonna look good. Or These have some big gaps that I need to fill. Write down just a quick summary, like what you want to happen, then what next, right? For it to make sense. And I say that particularly if you are not experienced when it comes to creating content, which a lot of SMEs are not. Excuse me, a lot of entrepreneurs are not. Develop in the pre-production, develop which creative approach you're gonna have. Write your script, and the creative approach would include things like which lights and all of these things. Figure that out. Write your script if there's any script that you need to write. And plan and schedule the shoot, right? So is it going to happen at night when everybody gone to sleep? Is it going to happen at 5 a.m. in the morning? Because you're going to get up probably from 4, get ready, organize yourself, and then from 5:30 start filming. And so that way it kind of gives you 5:30, 6:30 to get the footage done so that you can get ready and leave for work and still be on time. Real things, guys. You have to think about that. Shoot the footage, and then edit the video. Now, the biggest question I get is, what are the free video editing tools that are out there? And how do I answer this question? There are a few. I'll try to put some examples here. I don't use them very much, and there's Biteable, but most of the good ones, guys, you have to pay for. Like Canva's decent, Canva's good, you gotta pay for it. The apps, right? So I have quite a few apps on my phone that for editing videos. I have a gazillion apps on my phone, but the ones that stand out, to be honest, that I've used, you have some sort of payment. So even if it's like the first time, so like for example, there's a app version of what do you call it again? Sorry, brain went blank just now. It's right here. I use it every day. Not Photoshop. The Adobe video editing tool. Sorry, my brain literally went blank just now. No, it's not Lightroom that I use. It's Premiere Pro. Thank you very much, Ishmael. Gosh, I use it very regularly, and like my brain honestly went blank for a minute there. Yes. So Premiere Pro, there's a cheap, like a one-off payment. No, I think it's a subscription, but it's like fairly cheap that you can use on your phone for the app. You have Canva, you have on Mac, you can use Final Cut. There are quite a few that are out there, guys, but I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be really honest with you. If you're looking bang for buck, it would probably be Canva. Canva can give you all of the editing and video editing that you will need right now and kind of in one place. I don't know if any persons have any other recommendations that they would say, yeah. But I would say if you're looking bang for buck, don't go Adobe, like nothing Adobe, zero Adobe. People like me subscribe to Adobe every month because we have to based on our profession and based on everything that we do, but don't do Adobe. Jessica, you use Adobe? Girl, good for you. Good for you.
Hold on. The reason why I use Adobe, because I just prefer the purpose subscription, and I have 22 applications that don't.
You're breaking up, Jessica.
I'm pulling the animation up.
Jessica, you're breaking up. You want to type it in the chat?
Okay.
Yeah. So guys, I think for beginners, for people that just need basics, just whether it's video or images, Canva. Canva is like what, $12.99 a month? It's attainable. Add graphics and special effects if you're going to mix the music, get the soundtrack, record the voiceover, whatever is going to be done. And in terms of the final touches, it's to format and host the video. Ishmael says I use Adobe too. All right, I love Adobe, right? But I just know that it's not affordable for your average entrepreneur. Set up analytics and results tracking, distribute and promote the video, and guys, document whether the video did work or it never did work. Simple thing like look at how many people engage after a particular amount of time is critical. So I put some notes in here for 3-point lighting. Guys, I see this mistake all the time. People go in front of the video light and them have one harsh, hard light loop on them. Full stop. Okay, Sean says he uses post to my wall. Is that for editing videos, or is that images, or is that both? Tell me, Sean. Okay, yes. Jessica, I agree with you. I love Adobe. Same with me, you know. But Canva is honestly the one that most people can afford, right? And that's the truth. I'm not sure which Adobe using that can sign up for $18. Oh, as a student. Oh, okay. I was like, I ain't paying $18. Yeah, maybe, but you have to get student credentials and all of that. And some of us don't know how to do that Bandulu. I'm kidding, guys. Let me say that on ILE's platform. Don't do anything Bandulu, none at all. But as a student, you know, to be honest with you, it's going to be way cheaper, right? But as just a regular business average Joe, yeah, your Canva is going to be a lot more. So to give some shed some light, Adobe is $79. What is it? Is it $79 or $50-something? No, I think it's $50-something per month, right? Whereas Canva is like $12.99. Yes, no Pandolo around here, guys. None of that. Right, exactly that. And so for the lighting basics, I want you to just focus. There's a key light, there's a fill light, there's a backlight. What is this key light thing? The key light is the main light. So if you look at this structure here, right? The camera is right in front of the person. The key light is to the side on a 45-degree angle, and the fill light is over here. But the fill light is not as bright as the key light, you know. So this is helping to really, as you can see, the light on the person is really helping to get the light to the person, right? The main light, and the camera is kind of taking the angle there. And then the fill light is kind of lighting the other side of the person's face. So really and truly, in this context right now, let me be real with you, right? So yes, the fill light is for the shadows, and the backlight, just to explain, the backlight is to create a differentiation between the person and their background, right? But it's a lot lighter light. But I want you to understand, I don't have the right lighting setup right here, right now, because I have a very bright backlight, right? And I have a very bright front light or key light, yes? So my key light is all good and fine, you know. I don't have any lighting on, guys. My lights are packed up, but I want you to see where this bright black light, I would never create a video with this, like this, right? I might teach like this because my desk is here and it kind of works best, and it's bright, but it's not too bright. You can kind of still see my face, so you might see me shifting this way quite a bit often. But I want you to understand, yes, Ishmael, talk to me. The backlight is going to give the depth of field. I want you to understand that when you go to film your videos, guys, you don't forget the backlight. We don't care about the backlight. Get the key light, right? And then have a little more diffuse fill light. And I want you to understand it can be a simple thing like a reflector. So a lot of us, right, we capitalize on the sunlight when we're filming. So get a reflector. Reflector's cheap on Amazon. I'm talking like $10, $11, cheap on Amazon. Get a reflector and use the reflector to help bounce the light, right? Bounce the light to give you that more diffuse light. Yes, the sun is best. Ideal hours are morning hours. If you're going to go evening hours, you're going to get more yellow tones in whatever you're doing. All right, so there's information in here for backlighting and all of those things, and differentiating soft and hard light. And we want to see here, you see this hard light in the sun? It don't look good on video. So not about to do it, right? This soft sunlight, which is like in the morning, early morning, or in the evening around 5 o'clock, depending on the time of year, that's the kind of light that you want. But take into consideration the evening light is going to be more yellow, right? How do we position ring lights, which is more cost effective? Ring lights now. Jeez, let's go back. The whole concept of a ring light is it's supposed to be positioned with the camera on the inside, right? That's the whole point of a ring light. So you have the key light that is literally surrounding the person. Are you talking for mobile devices? Okay, so I don't like using ring lights for mobile devices because they're so small. They create they don't create. All right, I need to understand your question because you say indoor. Totally different thing. Talk to me, Ishmael. Tell me what is it that you're asking. Can you turn on your mic? All right, well, Ishmael is turning on his mic. Chandris, go ahead.
Yes, I have it's a tabletop ring light that can attach the mobile device. I bought it as a way to improve my lighting of the videos that I would be doing, like, you coming and talking in this Zoom meeting. I would have it for that, for talking engagements. And if I'm like doing promotional videos and so forth. But I am not sure what the technicalities are as to how it's supposed to be positioned. Is it supposed to be in your face? I know some YouTubers, influencers have the ring light so much in their face that when they're talking, they can't see the ring light in their eyeballs, and you just know they're using a ring light, or as you say, harsh light. I read something on Shopify because Shopify started to have some educational materials that they're posting about how to 10 steps to photography. And so I was able to start from a basic of just a white cartridge paper, white cartridge paper, put the product on the white cartridge paper outside, and just pick good pictures with my phone, and it looks like studio lighting, based on the directives. So you're showing a whole production setup, but I'd like to know, something a little less advanced how it could work. Right.
Right. So you can buy these guys for like $500, like from like
$20 at Kingston Bookshop, Jamaican.
Right.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I just wanted to kind of give people a kind of perspective of what a reflector don't need to be something that you buy formal like that. It could be simply like that white piece of card that I have there, right? To answer your question, I think we're gonna need to have a more detailed discussion regarding light. But what I will say, just as an initial, without getting too deep, you having a ring light, the whole point of a ring light is that the camera is going to be on the inside, right? Where ring lights get a little tricky though is when you're trying to use your phone camera. Sometimes it blocks parts of the ring light with the structure to set up the phone camera. You get what I'm saying? Because it doesn't have that push through like the DSLR cameras, so that the ring light can kind of fit right around it neatly. Anyhow, the ring light is supposed to come in front of you, but it's not supposed to be here. You will always get the globe in people's lights because that is the main source of the light. You can't go away from that, right? The only way to go away from that is to make the light source bigger, which is to actually have a bigger light. But most of us can't afford that. So I will say, if you're using the ring light, right, try to use the sun as your key light and use the ring light as your fill light on a lower and turn it down, right? Because that is going to probably give you a better lighting setup, especially if you only have one light, than you trying to use the ring light as the main light, right? And then not having some sort of fill light on the side, right? But we can talk more detail about it. Just some notes on advertising real quick. You need to pick specific objectives with your advertising, right? You need to pick a clear goals. There are a gazillion goals that are there that you can achieve, but you need to pick it. I want to talk about something, boosting versus advertising. Two different things, kind of. When you boost, the algorithm that you are catering to with the boosting algorithm is to get more engagement. If your objective is to, for example, to get people to click on links to go off-site, to be pretty much to do any other thing other than engage, fill out an email list, whatever it is, sign up for an email list, sorry. If your objective is to get people to even follow your page, once it is not engagement, right? Boosting is not going to help you. You need to actually go in, create a business manager page, and set up an ad, right, through your ads account in order to be able to then get the specific objective. So if I go back here, you'll see there are much more known, but these are just some of the simpler ones. These specific objectives, right, of what you're trying to get people to do, they're associated, they skew the advertising algorithm in a particular way in order to be able to get you to your goal. So you can't use a boost algorithm and expect to get a lot of persons to to become fans of your page, or to download an ebook off on another link, or to be, sign up for a newsletter. You're not going to get it. And I've seen that time and time again with my own experimentation, right? But all we know about is boosting. And so we think boosting is just it. And I want to warn you all, boosting is a very good way to waste money if you don't know what you're doing. Boosting helps engagement. It doesn't help anything else. So there's a big difference between you advertising and going through your business manager, setting up your business manager, setting up your ad account, and going through that way of setting up ads, as opposed to boosting, which is literally throwing money towards the algorithm of getting more engagement. All right, just a note. So you're going to determine which platform that you want to use. This is the structure that most online advertising is set up. You have a campaign. Under the campaign, you have these things called ad sets, which is basically where you can put your budget and your schedule of everything. And then under the ad sets, you can have several different types of ads. You have 3 different audiences. So you have saved audiences, custom audiences, and lookalike audiences. Saved audiences are your normal audience that you can target by gender, age, that kind of thing. Custom audiences are website traffic based. Usually it's mainly Facebook, Instagram. It's usually an audience that you upload, right? So you use either phone numbers or email addresses. Most of the time, the preferred is email addresses. So when you upload an email address, basically what Facebook assesses, and you can do it as well for display, but I won't delve into that. Facebook then looks to see if it is, so let's say my email address, right? So let's say it's karenscott@gmail.com, which is not. Let's say it's that, right? They're going to then check to see if the email, if there's an account associated, a Facebook account associated with karenscott@gmail.com. And so if there is, that then naturally matches, and that says that this is this person, so that you can target them on social media using that particular email. And that's how people target you, right? So if people say, oh, do people follow me on social media and I never sign up for, yeah, because they uploaded a custom audience that included your email address. Lookalike audiences now are when it is that you are trying to say, look here, these people, I have this listing of emails that are for my high value customers that are loyal to me and whatever. Same concept where you're going to upload it as a custom audience. But then what you're going to do is that Facebook is going to allow you to basically see whatever is the interest and the behavior patterns of that particular audience on social media, and then reach people with ads that would match, that have similar interests and similar patterns on social media. So the hope is at the end of the day that those persons, because they have similar likes and interests and all of that, they're going to be have a higher likelihood of converting. I've listed some convergence here in terms of measuring for social media that you need to be aware about. The big ones we know: follower count, views, impressions, clicks, and that kind of thing for engagement. For convergence though, sales, yes, we know, but also what is the lead conversion rate? How many of these leads are actually converting, right, to customers? We need to understand that. We need to also understand how much are these leads costing us, especially if you're paying money and going advertising. How many leads did we get from our advertising that we did? How much are these leads costing us? Is it $20 per lead? Is it $6 per lead? Is it more than per lead? You need to understand that, right? And ideally what you want is anywhere under $10 per lead. How many issues are resolved? Sometimes you don't realize just resolving people's issue in Messenger, right, is a way in which you can measure. And the big equation, which is the return on investment. And this is looking at how much did we gain in revenue, right, from all of our social media activities over a particular point in time, compared to how much did we invest, right? And when we're talking investment, we're paying somebody to run our page. How much were the ad costs? Add that in. How much were the creation costs? How much did Canva cost you, right? Were there any technology costs? Were there any other fixed costs that you need to take into consideration, right? So maybe you had to get another phone, buy another phone in order to be able, so that your daughter can do the social media or whatever it is. You have to take that into consideration. And so it's going to look at what was the gain that you got in terms of how many customers and how much revenue they would have purchased for your business as a result of being reached on social media, minus the investment divided by the investment and multiply that by 100%. You're going to get what is your return on investment. 3 quick things as we lead up to 2 minutes. I'm going to just ask you guys for 15 minutes more so that I can end at 1:15. Social media ethics, right, is I just need to mention these things. It would be a miss of me to mention social media ethics, security, and laws from a social media presentation of this nature that I would do. And it's things that we need to take into consideration, and in some cases, do some more research on. Informed consent. Guys, you have to ask people to publish, to republish, and retweet and repost their information. Well, not retweet, but to like repost information on our business page where we're making money from it. We need to ask them, guys. We need to ask them for the consent. They might say, no, man, you have to pay me, right? But you need to ask. Confidentiality is key, and we need to maintain that. What is private versus public data? We need to differentiate the two. What is personal versus professional? Sometimes people go down the line of social media and all jokes and fun and everything, but remember, it's a business you're running, and it's a business page that you're running, and what you do on your social media pages is a reflection of your business. So we still got to keep it professional, and we need to separate what we do on our personal profile. You could be the crassest, most terrible person on your personal profile. What did I just say? The crosses? The most cross, most terrible person on your social media profile. But you see, when it comes to your professional, right, business, right, you don't take that there. So we saw in the past, for example, where they had brands like in the past that got in trouble with that, like Juvia's Place, right? If you know anything about makeup, you cannot know makeup and not know about Juvia's Place. A good couple of years ago, Juvia's Place, I don't know if some of you would know, there's a big influencer, Jackie Aina, right? Huge YouTube influencer, millions and millions of followers. She would have had it would have been a case where Juvia's had not too long launched, not too long come out, and Juvia's would have gone ahead and they would have had bad customer service. And instead of them taking it up, holding it in them arms and say, sorry, you know, we're going to do better, we'll refund you this or whatever, the owner took to social media to lambaste Jackie Aina and lambaste her, whoever else was following her, whatever, in order to say how one of this and whatever. And it was a whole craziness in the beauty community. And what ended up happening was that people like Jackie Aina and her followers that were associated at this, they never support Juvia's Place again. And me personally, I was like this far from stopping to support Juvia's Place after that. But the lady, after what they did is that they ended up that she and her, they kind of just muted her, the owner, right? Where her own personal profile and that kind of thing. And you found there was a big space where she was not interacting any again with the person, the business page. You know, it was like somebody took it over and was handling all the spin-off from it and everything. We are passionate about our businesses, right? But you have to be very careful, guys. I would have spoken to you about something last week called SEO optimized content. Any content that you have is SEO optimized, you can go back years from now and go view that content. We have to be careful to keep it professional. Intellectual property is something we have to take into consideration, and so is defamation, right? Discrimination, be careful with that. I don't think we have a bad case of that, but we see classism and discrimination in Jamaica, right? So when you only post brown people to your page, right, and you're not posting black people with a chocolate nice skin, right? Those are the things that you need to look at when it comes to discrimination. And I'm talking real things that I've actually seen on Jamaican pages, right? Harassment is also something as well that you need to be careful that nobody accuses you of that. Social media security, regularly review your social media security settings and keep track of the social media accounts. Write them down only on a device that is secured, guys. Don't write them down on a device that you know don't have no firewall, don't have none of these things. You need to make sure that it is a device that is secured. Train your employees on social media security best practices and use two-factor authentication. Now, I have a caveat here. So I upgraded some time ago to two-factor authentication on Facebook, right? Because I manage pages, and that is one of the recommendations. And what actually happened, I was trying to push out some ads last year, right? In the middle of the year with, because Facebook made a change like somewhere around coming in closer to the US elections. They made, so it was like from April kind of go down, they made some changes where like you, in order to be able to push out ad content, especially political based content, you had to make sure you had like your profile had to be like bulletproof. You had to go through this. There's a lot of questions I answered and had to verify and that kind of thing. I had to send in my ID and all of that in order to be able to just get ads to go live, right? And so I had updated to two-factor authentication. I realized, because I realized I was unable to like link for a while. I was just not able to like normally how I post on Instagram and I link to my Facebook. I realized that it wasn't working. And then eventually I figured out it was based on the two-factor authentication. So I just saying, please upgrade to two-factor authentication, right? For all of your properties, right? But if you find yourself a space where it's not syncing, like you can't post to your Instagram page and go to Facebook or vice versa, that may be due to the fact that the two-factor authentication is causing problems. Review access publishing privileges regularly. I already spoke about this, guys. Don't give people admin access that are not worthy of admin and can do bad. And even if they don't do bad, right? They just have access to your personal business information that they don't need to have access to. So review this often and secure the mobile devices that are associated with your business accounts. Finally, with regards to social media laws, you need, it's not a maybe. I said it on the last session we had, and I'm gonna say again. You see this Data Protection Act that they have tabled in Parliament? You need to go on, download it, and read it. It might take you a few weeks, but that's okay. Read it, because there are things that pertain to your business and how you handle people's data and their personal information. E-commerce in Jamaica, we have the Electronic Transaction Act. If you have an e-commerce related business, so you're selling and buying stuff on Facebook, on a website elsewhere, you cannot know this law. Intellectual property, right? So the Copyright Act, Trademark Act, and the Patents Act. Get familiar with them. Make sure you don't find yourself on the receiving end of a lawsuit where somebody said that you used their content without their permission and it was copyrighted content. Most content on social media is not copyrighted, but some of it is. The Fair Competition Act, Consumer Protection Act, and advertising regulations also impinge our effect, right, on how is it that we do what we do and what we put out there regarding our social media pages as well. So you need to review these as well. Kimona, I know seeing your comment, especially now they're freezing accounts. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, you're talking Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, man, them pana crazy freeze, you know, in terms of lots of people's and shutting down a lot of people's business accounts and pages. So these are just some things, guys, that I want you to know. And the last 10 minutes, I just really wanted to kind of go through. I did have a practical for us to go through, but I wanted to kind of spend some time before on some things that I wasn't intending to spend a lot of time on. And I wanted to talk to you about your social media goals and that you would have worked on before. And just if anyone was able to work through any of the goals and the KPIs and was able to get to their personas and move to the content pillars from the homework last week. All right. So before I ask about homework, are there any questions? It's a mouthful, don't it?
No question.
Yes, Andrew.
So it is clear that it is a stomach full. I mean, I knew there was some stuff I wasn't sure of, but I feel like I missed out a whole century of knowledge. I don't know where it was. But it is clear that the first step now for small business is not to hire a social media manager, because we have no idea what we're doing, and it makes no sense to delegate to other persons who probably don't have any idea. That was my main issue. You know, I just got started last year in business, and I had to learn really quickly a lot of the basics about social media advertising. I'm coming out of old school marketing, so I learned a lot of the things about posters, flyers, the radio, the newspaper, the billboard, which are still relevant, but for the sake of the business being e-commerce, I had to learn about getting online presence. So my question is, you know, where do we step out on a blank canvas? What's the first painting on that?
The first thing is to figure out what you want for your business. And you're so right. And I will tell you, Chandris, it's important you realizing this. I have literally had to advise companies that have hired social media people, paying them. They're there for 3 months. They don't have a clue what they're doing. Well, it's not the social media people. The business has no clue what they're doing. So the social media person is frustrated, and the management is frustrated because they're paying for something at the end of the day that they're not sure what they're trying to get out of. So I'm telling you, don't make that mistake, right? Figure out first for your business what you want to be achieving with social media. What are the strategies you want to achieve it with? What are the topics? What is the content that you want associated with your business? Fill out the social media plan first. You understand? Because then if you're then looking to hire somebody to manage your page, this is what you're going to give to them and say, see here, this is the Bible. I have given you these strategies. You can feel free to expand on these strategies, but this is a top line in terms of what you need to accomplish, the KPIs that you need to achieve. These are my objectives. I want to get to X amount of followers by July X. I want to be able to have X amount of revenue by December X, right? These are my goals by quarter. These are my goals for the year. This is what you need to achieve, and this is what I'm judging you on. Tell me if this is impossible. Tell me if I'm being unrealistic. Tell me if I'm asking too much. That's really what you need to ask. So that's what you need to get to, right? So you, Chandris, need to figure out for yourself and kind of work and build up. But probably it's going to take you a month. I don't know. But that month of planning that is going to take you to kind of fill out your social media plan and kind of get your content strategy right is what is going to help you to achieve the success further down, as opposed to you trying to say, you know, do it the other way around.
Awesome. And I tell you, it is gonna be a case where I probably have to start from ground zero to start developing the customer persona first, and continue along the line. And then I have the flip side, you know, as a digital business manager, where does the line end for you? How do you know what you come into an organization to start with or start from? Because it's so dynamic, you know, and I'm sure you're not doing all of this that you have stated, perhaps not in any one company, but over time you have touched on a a few. But how do you know the structure going in and managing a digital business or digital site or business?
How do you know the structure going in and managing a digital site?
Like your role, rather your role. How do you define your role? Is it a case where somebody hire you to do social media planning, or you yourself find a niche that you can focus on in this whole digital landscape and
from me personally?
Oh yes. From a career perspective, how do you navigate and delegate what you're gonna do or what you're gonna contribute in terms of your role to a company?
Okay.
Or you just go with the flow?
So from a consulting perspective, I would say that first thing, I have to listen to the company and assess their needs first, right? Oftentimes, whether there's social media, otherwise, we jump in and we have the ideas and we want to go ahead and do it. And sometimes we have to just step back and kind of observe for a minute. And so there's always lots of questions in terms of, what do you want to achieve? Some people say, I don't know. They don't have a clue. Some persons have, exactly what they want to achieve, and they have started, documenting and everything. But it is to be able to help to guide the ones that don't know and to bring them to a place where they do know, right? By asking some of the hard questions. And then after that, it is also then to be able to find out, where do they see me fitting in? What do they think that I can help them with? And you might be like, but because with social media, I've personally experienced where the expectation is huge. You're going to grow my page by 10,000 followers by next month, right? No, I'm not kidding you, right? So you have to kind of ask these questions and set realistic standards in terms of what it is, and to be able to help to guide the person, and always kind of focusing on them and where they want to go. I've had customers that have chosen to discontinue over time because they just couldn't bother, right? It's not that I was asking them for too much, but they were just like, they were at that place in their life right now where they could put the energy that is required to be able to do it, right? And I said, just take off a small piece. You don't need to consult with me, but I can follow up with you. You understand? So just take off a small piece. And that's one of the things I want you to understand, Chandris, and everybody to understand. It's not about perfection, but it's about starting. So it's not to say, Chandris, that you're going to stop posting on social media right now to figure out your goals and your plans. No, it's not that at all. But it's a case where you're going to at least try to get probably about 70% of the way in probably a month, and set a goal for yourself and try to accomplish it.
That's exactly what has happened. I have stopped promoting because I've just, as I said, I was just doing it by ear and just pulling on a lot of things just to try and be present, especially in the initial starting phase of the business. But I know that there's some structure that needs to be in place. So I've kind of stopped, because one, it's me alone, as the head cook and back washer, as they would say. It's me alone doing the business, seeking the capital, writing the business plan, marketing and social media. Yeah, and just been pushing the business, and so it was a bit. It has gotten a bit exhausting. To be honest,
you can ease off a paid, right? Gracias is actually a paid. I see your comment, Kimon, or your question. You might choose to ease off of the paid until you can refine your strategy, but don't ease off of the organic. Because remember, the consistency in how you post is critical for the algorithm to prioritize your content in the feed. So
well, I was thinking about something more like starting to schedule the content from Facebook to the studio, but that again still needs planning.
You can use Hootsuite as well. Or you can use Facebook, whichever one, and you can you can schedule it from before. You can schedule it from before in order to be able to accomplish the goals that you want, and kind of give yourself the space to be able to kind of figure out just how you should more streamline your social media to be able to achieve the main goal you want, which is more sales, right? At the end of the day. Ricky Mon says, bots for teens who are not 18 instead of waiting until you're 18. How do you get your business registered? A passport is also the answer. I would say if you're trying to get a business registered and you're less than 18, you have to use your parent or somebody, guardian or whoever you trust to be able to do that for you, right? So they would have to become, let's say you're doing an LLC, a limited liability company. It's going to be a case where they're going to have the person setting it up. And then after you pass 18 or whatever, so you'll be set up as a partner, or you should be able to be set up as a partner, but just not as the main. And then maybe you can change the equity standing or whatever it is for the LLC afterwards accordingly. Are there any other questions? Everyone, I want you to take note of Miss Todd's message. So she's asking at the end of the session, please go over to ILE's Instagram and Facebook stories. If you're not follow ILE on Facebook and Instagram, please, all right, after this session, please on tongues, you need to follow them right now, actually, not even afterwards, right now, okay? And after you go there, you're going to then look on their Instagram and Facebook stories. You're going to rate, right? To see how the session was. Was it good? Was it bad? Repost with a comment. Use the hashtags. We know we live in a hashtag world, so use up all the hashtags. So DIA Jamaica, DIA Lab, Trust, ILE, Millennial Business. All right? Make sure you use it. Simon, although you might have to wait until you're 18, I don't mean that you stop doing what you're doing until you're 18 in terms of doing all of the necessary to build your audience and build your business so that when you're 18, you can formalize it. So don't stop what you're doing, you know, don't see that as a hindrance to stop. All right. All right, guys. I am going to send out these formats. We wouldn't have gotten a chance to go through these in detail, but if there are any persons that have questions coming in from their homework in terms of social media, all right, I love the attitude, Kimon. You never stop around here. If there are persons that have any questions regarding, you know, their social media plans, because I know a lot of you may not have gotten a chance to do it for homework, I'm gonna drop my info in the chat, right? So feel free to email me regarding it and you know, reach out in order to be able to get just some clarity, because I know, guys, this is not a sit on one night thing and do it, right? This is something that you have to do maybe over a month or even for some people longer, because they have so many other things happening in their business. And it's the case where it's going to take you a little longer in order to be able to do this and get through it. So I'm gonna make sure to send you the information, and then when you get a chance to digest it and really start to tackle it, feel free to reach out to me via email for any additional help or any additional information. All right. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a great time. I really enjoyed it. Chandris, you raised your hand just now?
Yes, I actually just wanted to, so I don't know if you can see me.
Yes, I can.
You can see me? Okay, so I'm Chandris, that's me.
Hey!
I'm saying good presentation. I'm doing the vote of thanks. Renee, hope Renee don't mind.
Well, yeah, somebody's making my job easier. Go through.
Really a head start. And as I would have told you, Karine, you know, I'm gonna try and start a master's program in digital marketing, and this is really a head start. So I wanted to ask, what are the services you are offering? You spoke of consultancy. I know you're at Digital. So what are the services you're currently offering that persons can follow up on for, you know, for what you have to offer?
I'm not selling myself here, but I do offer consultancy services, to be honest with you. So persons across their digital business, depending on what their need is, I can either recommend you to persons, or I can also consult. And I say recommend because, if there's an area particular you're asking me to build a website, that's not my specialty. I know how to do it, but that's not my specialty. So I'll recommend you to someone. But as it pertains to the everything digital, there certainly I consult as it pertains to that, and I also teach as it pertains to that. So you can talk to me offline.
Good. Okay, all right, Karen. Oh, Chandri says, excellent. Boy, Karen, I just really want to say thank you, because a lot of the times you come across these professionals that have the knowledge and they hug it up and they hold it up, and it's like they don't want to pass it on to people who are trying, especially young people who are trying. They have these brilliant ideas, but they have no idea how to even start. You said it's not about perfection, it's about starting. And I really appreciate the fact that you really carry them through this. I know most of these people on here, they're my kids, they're my babies. Even though some of them grown and big, they're my kids, and I cherish them, and I always want to give them as much information as possible for them to grow professionally and personally as well. And I really appreciate that you are offering even an after training service where you can even just talk to them. They could come to you and get some advice, because I know that you're brilliant in what you do, my love. I just know it. But thanks. Thanks doesn't even really sum it up. I'm so appreciative, and I speak on behalf of the entire team when I say that you have no idea what it means to us. So thanks. Yes, everybody. And thanks so much, Miss Todd. Yes, Shauna is gonna come on in just a second. But before we take Shauna, I'm gonna pass the microphone to Teresa Taylor, who is a programs manager at the Institute of Law and Economics, and she's gonna talk to you quickly about some programs that we have. Please stay with us. She's gonna talk to you quickly about some programs that we have, and I think a sister program that's similar to this one, Teresa. She's gonna talk to you a little bit more about that. Teresa, over to you. And then we take Shauna, and then we wrap up with Dwayne. So stay with us. Teresa, over to you.
Hi, thank you so much, Ms. Owen, for the introduction and the opportunity to share. I've been itching to say something, and I just wanted the opportunity to come. So just before I get into the program, I just want to use the opportunity to highlight how Ms. Scott is underselling herself in terms of her expertise. So I think you would have gotten a fair view of what the gold mine that exists, and I low-key call her a wiki social media expert. If you know what Wikipedia is, you go on it, you find stuff, you find pretty much everything. But the difference is she's an expert. So wiki may not always be accurate, but she's always closer to the more accurate side of things. And I think one of the things that you will appreciate from somebody who is who enjoys what they do is that the knowledge that they have, they're so happy to share it, and not just share it in a practical way. And I think that is something you will enjoy. And that's one of the reasons that here at the Institute of Law and Economics, we've engaged Ms. Scott to guest lecture in some of our sessions, also because she reached out to us and would not let up because she had so much to share. She was just like, listen, I need an opportunity to get this done. And it's not because people haven't asked her to, because you already heard, she's lectured at Carimac, she's done so many sessions. She was with Yellow Media Group at one point. Listen, she knows her stuff, underselling herself over here. And let me just give you a little knowledge. Knowledge is power, you hear? Good. So if you can get it out of her head and into yours and into your business, that's a great idea. So thank you very much, Ms. Scott. I enjoyed the last hour and a little bit of your presentation. I was over here taking some notes too, because one of my hats now include communications, and I'm just over here trying to learn it at the speed of light. So thank you very, very, very much for the points that you shared. And I know I'm not the vote of thanks lady, but I had to jump in and say that there. So if she given you an opportunity to consult with her, run, go grab it quick. Run, go grab it quick. Worse, if she says she would do it for free, run, go grab it quick. All right. So on that note, we do have other programs. Ms. Scott would have touched on a number of areas that relate to digital marketing, social media marketing, the law, data protection, and so on. And so one of the things that we do here at the Institute is we try to adapt our courses to develop courses to the needs of our constituents, to the needs of the people who we serve, because we can't just be educating you, and the knowledge that you're getting is not what can be used, right? We're not here for that. We upskill people with practical knowledge that they can absolutely use in the real world. But here's a drawback. If you're not willing to do the work, you're going to have a problem, because we're very practical. But we promise you, if you do the work, you will find that whatever you come out of any of our programs with, you can actually use it tomorrow. I promise you that, right? And there's some of us here who are staff and students, some of us who are constituents of the DIA Innovation Lab or the Law and Professional Certifications Unit. You would have seen how we do what we do. So with that said, we do offer a course in the business of entertainment law. You heard Ms. Scott talk about you needing to know copyright, understand intellectual property, whether it is right for you to go and take people's content and post an interview that you did with them on your page to get followers when what they do is their bread and butter without their permission. We teach those things in the business of entertainment law. So we will teach you how to manage your intellectual property, how to protect your creative content. Some of you are writers, some of you are app developers, some of you are graphic designers, some of you are singers and dancers, and you want to know, how do I protect my thing so that somebody don't copy and paste my work and then press boost, because that's all we know to do, as Ms. Scott said, press boost, and then everybody starts following them. How do you protect them? How do you protect that work? And is it really expensive? Not really, but let's talk a little more about it. So we touch a little more on that. That's a six-week course in the business of entertainment law. We say the business because entertainment is a business, and you ought to learn even the contractual obligations that exist. So we're not going to make you into a lawyer when you leave, but I promise you, you'll be a lot more aware of what is acceptable in this industry. You'll understand a little more on copyright, trademarking, patenting, even YouTube. I know that I've heard her mention it. We are definitely going to be including a guest lecture on the Data Protection Act. So I'm loving that. So you could look at that. The cost of that course is currently at $35,000, but we're having a discount running. So if you are here today and you get over on our page right now, like the page and message us right away, we will apply that 30% discount to you, which makes the course drop phenomenally. So you want to go over there quick if you're interested in that aspect of it. We also have another course called the Careers in Digital Marketing. Now, this is the second spin at this course, so we get the benefits of improving and developing upon that. Ms. Scott will be one of our guest lecturers in that course for this cohort that is coming up. That program is scheduled to begin at the end of March here. So it's hot like bread. There's going to be a lightning discount period. So like the page, look out for it. It's coming, guys. Keep your eyes glued to the Instagram page. Hint this week. That's all I'll say. There's a lightning discount coming for the Careers in Digital Marketing course. Now, what does that course cover? It covers some of what Ms. Scott would have spoken to, which is about how you go about developing a social media presence that is ideal for your business, that is ideal for what you, Chandris, you, Jessica, you, Ishmael, does. So that course is designed really, you have to come there with a skill already, and basically it teaches you how to develop your own social media plans. I heard somebody say, why should we hire a social media manager and we don't even know what we need? Well, that course will help you to understand what you need, and not just that, help you to leave there with an actual plan of what you need to accomplish to get your particular business, whether it is food, beverages, speaking, because speaking is a skill too that we sell, speaking, singing, dancing, cooking, digital products, whatever you do to get your specific product prepared for the social media market. We'll teach you how the different platforms work, and we will teach you what you need to do. So a part of your assignment will be developing a portfolio to help you to know what goals you need to meet for your business and what posts will work for your specific industry. That's what Careers in Digital Marketing is designed to teach you. We are in the process as well with Miss Scott and her team from school with developing a course in social media as well as STEM. So those are the two areas that we're going to be touching on. So it will focus a lot more on just the social media aspect of it from a more general standpoint and understanding the fundamentals, like what she would have just mentioned. Well, you notice it's a whole heap of fundamentals. I don't know if you noticed, but it's a whole heap of fundamentals. So that course is designed to be a 4-week program. It is still in its pilot stage, meaning baby stage, embryonic stage. We're just talking around what is going to be included in that. So you want to look out for that one coming. But so far, business of entertainment law, hot discount running now, 30% off. Careers in digital marketing, a flash discount will come. So you must have liked the page, you must have liked the post, and you must really be able to tell us why you want this discount. So the flash discount is coming. Keep your eyes glued to that page. If you're not on it, listen, life is passing you by. Let's go. All right, so away from that, we also have a course called Paralegal Intensive. That course is designed for persons who have a little bit more of an interest in the legal aspect of things, and perhaps are looking for a career change. You're looking for an opportunity to jump into an industry that you kind of like, but you're not sure if it will work for you. But if you have at least 1 year's training, 1 year experience, working in the legal industry. So there are some of you who have worked with a law firm, you work in a legal department, you worked as a legal secretary, but you never had any formal certification. We can certify you in 6 weeks. And there's a discount coming for that. You hear how much I said discount? No excuses, no excuses today. So if you jump over on our page, you'll see what's being offered there. The discount for that is also coming. So you can look out for that one. And it will be a discount between 20 to 30% as well. And the cost of our courses generally, for short courses, I should say, doesn't trend above 45,000. So when we take 30% off it, you're getting something, right? You're getting something. And all the courses I mentioned so far are 6 weeks course, except the one that's being developed with Miss Scott, which is going to be 4 weeks. And the paralegal intensive is also for persons who you have formal, like you did Cape law, or you did some training in law, and you want to just get formal certification. Now, here's a hint. If you're looking for a career that you feel that you like to read, you like to do research, you like to support, you like the legal processes, this is a great certification for you. I'll plug this in and not just say it because it can be said, but that we literally don't have any paralegals who are good paralegals who don't have a job. Let that sink in. We don't have any paralegals who are good paralegals who don't have a job, meaning we don't have enough paralegals to fill the demand for paralegals. We got a call on Friday for 4 paralegals and we could have only sent 3. Real life. So go ahead, get the certification. It is something that you will need. When I went into banking, I did a crash course in paralegal because of how many skills from paralegals you need to do what you need to do. You have to learn it. You have to get it done. And not to make you into a lawyer or anything. It is just to give you a working idea of how the legal industry works. And paralegals are to the law industry what nurses are to doctors. They are the backbone of the legal profession. And not just the legal profession, they're the backbone of a lot of things that you see happening. So do we have a Cape law course? No, we don't. But if you've already studied law somehow or any aspect of law, just send us the credentials for the intensive. You don't have to, the credentials for the paralegal intensive course itself, you're not necessarily required to have subjects in it. You're required to have some experiential evidence of your training in law. It doesn't have to be paralegal. Why? Because it's a short course. And so we're expecting that if you come in and you don't have any knowledge, it may be a challenge for you to learn all of this very quickly. So we need that you either have some training in law or at least 1 year work experience working in a law industry. If you don't have none of that and you like how paralegal sound, we also have a course for you. There's a paralegal certificate program, but that course is 7 months long and it's a bit more expensive, but it takes you pace by pace through every single thing that is related. So it will take you on a slower pace, not a roller coaster ride. It will take you, pace by pace, handhold you for 7 months to make you into a certified paralegal as well. That one includes an internship. The cost of that program is currently 95,000 depending on where you are. Again, a discount is going to come for that, but that program is not restarting until about June. We have just done an intake in January. We're doing June, July for that course, so you can warm up your pockets, warm up your mind, prepare to do that program and keep in touch with us. Again, if you like the page, you can't miss a thing. And we post often. Some day I take notes from Miss Scott to say you need the frequency of your post is being noted by the algorithm and say, yes, look at that, God. So I'm over here taking notes just like you. So we don't do Cape law, but we definitely offer the intensive. And if you have any formal training, you can have a talk with me off the air to see if you qualify for that. And again, apart from that, we have what you call the pre-law program. The pre-law program is designed for persons who are interested in studying law at an LLB level. So you don't have any Cape law, do the pre-law. It takes you into the UTech program. Once you get a 3.0 GPA, the Faculty of Law there is guaranteed to accept you once you do our program, so you don't have to spend 2 years doing K. If you do our program, which is also 7 months, and once you get your 3.0 GPA, you are on your way to studying an LLB. So yeah, that's what we have presently. We are working on innovating new courses for you. We'll talk a little bit more about even the cybersecurity course that's being developed, or that has been run in a first phase, and it will be coming back, a cybersecurity course. And we'll talk more about that with Miss Owen and Mr. Gutzmer. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, pains, pressures, problems, I'm the girl for that on courses. And yeah, and if you have any ideas of things that you want to learn, I'm the girl for that too. So thank you so much. Looking forward to the discounts. Looking forward to you jumping over and taking advantage of an opportunity to upskill yourself in the areas that you find most interesting.
All righty, Mrs. Taylor. Ooh, child. That's a lot of information, but like you said, if you want to know more, you're there, girl. Thanks so much, Mrs. Taylor, for passing that information on, guys. You can always log on to our Facebook page. You can give us a call. Sorry, our Instagram page, or give us a call if anything. We can put the numbers down in the chat. Teresa, I'm gonna ask you just put the Instagram information or the phone numbers that they could call if they need any more information. We're gonna now hand over to Miss Todd to do part A of the the closing and thanks. Go ahead, Shauna.
Hi again, guys. Good afternoon. We're still going. This is me. Hi, guys. So just like you, I've been taking a whole lot of notes. I have a number of different business ideas, and I'm learning. So thank you so much, Karen. I learned things like boost and algorithm and importance of paying attention to your algorithm and making the right moves to assist your business in the online space. So I can't even thank you enough. And guys, thank you so much for actually joining us, not just this Sunday, but past Sunday, okay. I see a comment in the comment section, but also thank you for being with us and sticking with us. I know you could be doing anything else on a Sunday and you are here, so we can't thank you enough. I'm going to be applying a lot of these things that we've learned to my own business, and just to properly position myself in the digital space. This is just the second of the series. So there are a number of other sessions that will be coming up, and we will be just alerting you on what it is that those sessions will be and sending you the emails so you can register and connect with us for those days. So I can't thank you again. Thank you, Karen. You have been a gem. I have learned so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
It's been awesome. It's been awesome. Thank you. Shanae?
Yes, thanks, Shauna. And now the final drum roll, boom, 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 from our CEO. Where is he? In his lovely blue tuxedo. Are you there? Dwayne? All right, I'm going to hand it over to you to take it away. Take it away.
No tuxedo at all, but no. Let me join in just saying thanks to Karen for leading the session. Last week was phenomenal, and then this week also we're taking notes. I see Shauna came on screen with her pen in hand, and that's a good sign. It means people are taking notes and so on. But in all seriousness, Karen, I can't thank you enough for dedicating the last 2 Sundays to the persons who are on this call and listening to you. And certainly we will share the recordings and so on with persons. So we thank you so much for that. We also want to just reassure and tell people that this is the way of the future. So it's best to jump on this from early than wait until the horse has already left the stables kind of thing. You want to jump on it. And so we thank those who stick around and they were able to do the entire session. We want to thank them for staying with us. But it would be remiss of me if I don't say thanks to my own people, Shauna and certainly Shanae, for pulling this all together. A brainchild initially of Shauna in some way, shape, or form, and then by the time we pull it together with the rest of the team, it mushroomed into something else. and then it got way out of control, and I kind of took over myself, and then they scale it down, and I jump back in, kind of thing. But it's really, really great to see what it has evolved into. And so we want to say a big thank you to Shauna and Shani for their help. Of course, Teresa is always in the background, giving them the little nuggets about what they need to do, how they need to do it, and so on. So all of that, those different spices and so on, work together to bring you what it is that we have had over the last 2 Sundays. I saw earlier somebody asked if this is it. Shauna is best positioned to answer that question. I only give a nod if I like what I hear. So she will have to say if there are more things in store.
Well, if I could just jump in,
Sure.
no, we have a lot of things in store. We are just ready for the sign off to start like throwing out our activities with the Dia Lab and IE. So Teresa said it, stay tuned. You're not gonna want to miss all that 2021 has to offer.
Great. And Shani has asked me for a meeting tomorrow. It's about a 3-hour-long meeting. She says, I know that that's
4 hours.
is going to happen. So I again, guys, just saying thank you so much for pulling all this together. Teresa, thank you so much. Shauna, Shani, thank you so much. And Karen, I do thank you as well. On the screen, there was a survey that we asked persons to complete. I just want to quickly run through some of the results for everybody. I think most everybody would have done it already. So I'm going to end the poll and I'm going to share the results so that we can learn from some of the things that's there. In terms of the overall effectiveness of the session, most persons found it to be excellent. In terms of the facilitator, no surprises there, excellent as well. The administrative support, excellent. And there are some stuff that we'll work through to make sure that the next time our excellent is almost on par with that of Karen's. In terms of the time frame and when they would prefer to have these sessions, seem as though Sunday is still a hit, certainly among this crowd anyway. 75% of persons said Sunday, but there are also some suggestions for Wednesday and Saturday. What I found interesting is that, Shauna, next time you're having it, you might want to go closer to midday after people already get the church out of the way and the cooking out of the way. I suspect that's why 12 to 3 is coming up as a more favorable time. So these are just some stuff that the team will sit and think about for when the wheel and come again, and certainly in the discussion tomorrow with Shani, these things will certainly come to the fore. So thanks again, everyone, and do please stay tuned to our different social media pages. For most, we have email addresses, and we'll continue to send information on email. We're trying to see whether we do a Mailchimp kind of an arrangement so that makes it easier in terms of just sharing information and so on. But we'll get to that. Certainly coming out of this, I know Shauna is taking some notes and will kind of recommend to the team how we move forward with some of those things. Don't want to keep you much longer from your Sunday dinner. So again, thanks everyone. It's been a real pleasure.
And just to jump in, guys, just head over to our Instagram or our Facebook page and do your comment. We have something up in the stories. So just rate, comment, and repost, and also tag, please tag our trust partners, OAS, tag Dia Lab, all the tags you see me put in the comment section, just tag everybody, all right? And be looking out for that. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.